Hey, welcome. I'm Amy Beth with Allison and JP. Can you hear us? You're good?
Oh, yeah. I think when you tripped earlier, I think you probably...
JP, you're not supposed to tell anybody.
Let me work on that. Y'all
Listen.
start.
So a couple of things. We're going... So we're going to have a great discussion. And it's going to be about what weapons of execution should we bring back. Okay? And we're doing that because we're watching the Epstein file stuff. And so there's some gnarly things in there. People who definitely deserve prosecution beyond the shadow of a doubt. Okay. So we're going to have that. We have an amazing montage, more discussion about Epstein and everything that's coming out, another drug boat strike. We don't even know what's happening with Nancy Guthrie. Tom Homan has gone humane. I don't even know what that means. And then there's a federal judge in California. Those are the stories we're going to cover. Plus we have Jared Hudson at 4:30. But I'm really going to start with what's important. And that is that Allison Sinclair, who's been on the floor the whole time.
I can't find the power cord.
I tripped over the cord because we recorded another podcast this morning that was awesome.
Yeah.
We cannot wait for you to watch it, listen to it, whatever. So we've been running around since then, but I tripped over the cord. Allison and I can't hear nothing.
I got you on the break.
Allison brought a Three Musketeers, and that is that our shared favorite candy bar?
Yeah, I promise I didn't buy the share size because it has two in hopes that you would share.
Oh, we're going to have a Three Musketeers today.
I don't know. It's been a day. But we're here and it's going to be awesome. Right, JP?
Yeah, it's going to be a great show.
It's going to be a great show.
I'm excited.
It's going to be a lot of fun. And what are we starting with? This is a very upbeat, fun topic.
Well, it is, and our old friend, who's still our friend, liked to talk about bringing back dueling. And last week we brought up what we thought would be our form of punishment that has been, it's disappeared to the annals of history. We want to bring it back. There are certain forms of execution. If you've been proven guilty beyond the shadow of a doubt, that's the confines and the definition of this discussion. Okay, so I don't want to hear from anybody about somebody who hasn't been proven guilty. I'm talking about guilty, confessed, DNA, Epstein people. All right, those are the three categories. Guilty. That is all. We're setting it aside. That has been established. What form of old-fashioned, what would you call it, execution would you like to bring back? Dueling?
Well,
The machete, the firing squad.
The machete? When is that?
I just threw that in there. That's not real. Hanging.
I bet in Mexico it is.
I bet it is. The scimitar.
We can't talk about that
I mean,
again.
we're not.
Okay, here's the thing.
Anyway.
Scott Beeson loves, he's like, we need to bring back dueling.
Yes.
And settle so many issues.
Thank you.
But that's a separate, because you can't.
It's not execution.
It's not execution. So we need to have the how do you want to execute people and bring it back, and the how do you want to settle disagreements discussion.
Okay, I like that.
Because in
I like
dueling,
that.
I mean, unless you want to give the person that's been charged and is committed the crime an opportunity to live. So what if they take out you and you're the good guy?
That's a good point.
So,
yeah.
So settling disagreements.
Yes.
And bringing back whatever form of capital punishment, we'll say. Both.
Okay.
What are your
ideas?
I'll go first. I probably got
answers.
answers.
Says the kid that
kidding.
played Call of Duty and Grand Theft Auto all his life.
Well, first of all, I agree 100%. My answer for settling disagreements is dueling, because I remember when I was in middle school and I learned about the Aaron Burr, Alexander Hamilton duel. And I was like, that was just a thing. I was like, that needs to be. And then I saw in Tombstone the I'm your Huckleberry, that scene. I'm like, that is so sick. That needs to come back. Men that have disagreements, you just meet me in a field. We'll pace 10 steps away from each other and just. That's how it needs to be done. I think dueling is, that needs to come back. In terms of execution, This is such a morbid topic. I think either hanging or guillotine.
Oh, hadn't considered the guillotine.
Oh.
By the way, this is for the fact of how it will deter people from doing sick crap. Like,
Yeah.
And can I throw in, while we're having the discussion of capital punishment, the other thing that it will do, not only will it deter it, but it will also have a way of, my suggestion is quickly getting to, if you are sentenced, you don't get 10 or 15 years on death row. You get 6 months tops. I'd really like to see it by the end of the month.
Yep.
If you are, the judgment is issued January 15th, you are not here on this earth by February 1. Like, we got to speed that whole process up too. Just throwing that into the discussion. This long-term sitting on death row, enjoying your life while you took other people's lives. No, thank you.
But see, sitting on death row would be more of a punishment for someone like me.
Yeah, but you wouldn't commit the crime. You wouldn't commit a crime.
Yeah.
yeah, but death row inmates live so comfortably. They got TVs, they got food, they get to roam, and they are pretty much just living in a hotel. Like, you get free food, you get free TV, and you
Provided
get to
for
chill.
by us.
Right. So, I don't know. Hangings used to be like a big Hangings used to be a thing, like a big event people would go to.
Are you?
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
I mean, my great cousin, the Irish mobster, was hung publicly, like in one of those things. Like, so it's.
Oh yeah, so you have experience with this.
But yeah, it's like, it wasn't too long ago that was a thing.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay.
All right, Sinclair.
I'm going jousting. Like,
I love it.
we're gonna get some horses and some long sticks involved.
Okay.
Because I think it takes a little more skill, and it would drag on the drama a little bit more. Because, like, what if your horse like goes, not going there, and then you pass each other, and then you're like, whoa, we got to line back up, and and like, what if somebody gets like stabbed but they don't die? Do you put them back on the horse? I don't know. I just think it'd be really dramatic, and I kind of like, but the horses can't die, just the people.
No.
Okay. And then public execution. Should we tell everybody why we're talking about this? Well, actually, Tim Burchett, did y'all see what he said recently? I feel like we talk about him every day. Where he said, if you're accused of child rape or what else? Was it child?
Child rape or child sex crimes.
Yeah.
Altogether.
Which Alabama just passed. Like, they were that state. So this is appropriate.
You are eligible for the death penalty.
Yes.
No, but Tim said you need to be publicly hanged.
I'm for that.
Yeah. So, for execution, I don't know. The guillotine seems messy.
Unless it's a really sharp blade.
Well, what do you do with all the blood?
Well, it's the way they're angled when they.
Yeah. The French Revolution, everybody got guillotined. Like, it was a thing.
Is there not? I mean, are you saying if you angle them right, you don't bleed?
He's gonna bleed.
There's gonna be blood.
It's gonna be blood.
Yeah.
But
okay, I got it.
Okay.
In Yellowstone, did y'all watch Yellowstone?
I haven't.
Okay. In Yellowstone, they tied up the bad guys to the trees.
Oh my word.
But then they put the horses underneath them. Mm-hmm. And so they just had to sit there and you waited. Because as long as the horse would stand there, you were still alive. You had to sit there and anticipate, like, if your horse was going to take off or if your horse was going to fall over. And so you just had, so I would put nooses around, I would hang people with a horse. Is that?
So you're saying you would draw and quarter people?
I don't know what that means.
That's that. Where when the horse goes, you're, or they're sitting on a horse.
They're sitting on a horse with the noose, with hanging.
I got you.
And it's tied to the tree. So once the horse goes and trots off,
you're out.
You're
out.
Yeah.
Okay. I would duel. I'm for dueling. Just make sure you're a good shot. Although jousting is in a second, like just below that. It's like 51-49.
Okay.
But dueling first, because I'm just really over the foolishness.
Firing squad?
Firing squad, but I want like 20 people with you facing them, and you have to watch it. You can't turn away. You have to watch your firing squad.
Gives me chills.
And then that's it. You're done. Do you realize how much crime we could finish off if we brought those things back?
Yes. Yeah.
We are absolutely, it's so funny because the people who do not value life in the beginning are the ones who want to draw it out in the end. And here we are just messing around like, oh, let's go to the jail club and have fried chicken and enjoy life until, or like whatever delicious
jail club.
Burgers, fries, whatever your family brings you. If you're on death row in my jail, you are in solitary confinement. You do not get to have a nice life. If you killed somebody, also you would be dead within 2 weeks after your sentence was issued, gone, out. You guys, it would be amazing if a mayor or a governor or somebody in a town would decide to really get serious about punishing crime, because that benefits the citizens. Can you imagine what would happen?
Well, okay. Somebody write it down because I forgot to grab my notebook. When Jared Hudson gets here, we need to ask him.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
What his answers are. That'll be good.
Okay.
I bet he'll come up with something creative.
One more that isn't technically an execution, but it's a deterrent. We need to bring back tarring and feathering.
Oh. May I add in the stocks, like right in front of where people can throw tomatoes at them and be humiliated for, like, if you stole something.
Yeah.
Could we bring that back too?
Yeah.
Because was tar and feathering for the same kinds of crime?
Yeah. I mean, it was, yeah.
How does that work?
They literally get hot tar poured all over your body and then get chicken feathers and throw them on you. So you get burned to stew from the tar, but then the tar sticks the feathers on you, and then they parade you around town like mocking you because
like a chicken.
You look like a chicken. Yeah.
And how do you get the tar off?
I'm not sure.
We're gonna have to do some research. So this discussion started because we were talking about the Epstein files, and I guess a lot's come out about that overnight. Lex Luthor is involved.
Lex Wexner.
Les Wexner.
Les Wexner.
Yeah.
That guy.
Oh,
Les
Wexner.
Oh,
Or
it's not even Lex.
I like Lex Luthor. I mean, but that's too kind of a name for a dirty bird like him.
Who else came? Well, I guess you'll have to stick around because we will cover that. Maybe in the next segment, or maybe not. Maybe we'll do the montage. What do you want to do, producer?
I think we can do montage.
Okay.
We'll get to it all, though. We'll be right back.
How Paul Breyer and his team at Inspire Advisors.
You're talking like a robot.
Domo arigato, Mr. Roboto. You've heard us talk about Inspire Advisors, how Paul Breyer and his team of investment advisors. Allison!
Sorry. Okay, sorry.
Hey, y'all. You've heard us talk about investment advisors. JP, turn around. Okay. Go out of the room.
Anything else to do but look at JP.
All right, don't look at JP.
Oh.
Look at the camera.
Okay.
This is our big break. This commercial is our big break. It's not even funny.
Okay.
Hey, y'all. You've heard us talk about our friends.
Howdy, y'all.
Hey, you've heard us talk about
Gang,
Inspire Advisors. We'll get it, JP. Just don't give up on us.
Sweaty. You should do it like Marge.
Okay. Hey, my friends. You've heard us talk about Inspire Advisors. How Paul Breyer and his team at Inspire Advisors will help you grow your investment portfolio while also screening out companies that don't match your Christian values.
Paul and his team are experts at what we call biblically responsible investing. And they're offering a free class for a limited time just for you. You're up.
Check out the class and register for free at www.moneypatternwealth.com. It's godly. It's conservative. It's financial freedom.
Again, you go to Inspire Advisors at www.moneywealthpattern.com and check them out and tell them Rightside sent ya. What is that?
We'll do it afterwards.
There are those in the immigrants' rights community who have argued passionately that we should simply provide those who are illegally with legal status, or at least ignore the laws on the books and put an end to deportation until we have better laws. And often this argument is framed in moral terms. Why should we punish people who are just trying to earn a living? I recognize the sense of compassion that drives this argument. But I believe such an indiscriminate approach would be both unwise and unfair. It would suggest to those thinking about coming here illegally that there will be no repercussions for such a decision. And this could lead to a surge in more illegal immigration. And it would also ignore the millions of people around the world who are waiting in line to come here legally. Ultimately, our nation, like all nations, has the right and obligation to control its borders and set laws for residency and citizenship. And no matter how decent they are, no matter their reasons, the 11 million who broke these laws should be held accountable.
What is the bigger threat to America right now, American values, American life? Islamophobia or jihad?
I think we have to focus, quite frankly, on, if we're worried about the threat to American values, on the person who's in the White House.
What an idiot!
Sometimes people come up to me and whisper, does it matter if we don't believe in the virgin birth?
No, it doesn't matter in the UCC for sure. There are some Christians to whom it really matters. But in the UCC, we feel like the most important thing about Jesus is paying attention to how he lived his life. And the details around his birth are things that we can find meaning in, but the meaning might be symbolic.
What? Hannah Moore believes she and other SNAP recipients should be able to go into the grocery store and buy whatever they like. Soda, candy, prepackaged sweets, prepared desserts, and juice with less than half of natural fruit or vegetable juice in it.
It's not even cool. Like, why they do that? What's the point of food stamps if it's just for real food?
That doesn't make sense.
JP, have you ever considered filmmaking?
No, actually.
Because some of your stuff, I'm sorry, this is driving me crazy. Because the in-between of our breaks now are hysterical. And people are responding positively. So if you haven't watched our show, because listen, we get it. You don't want to lose your mind out there in the world. You shouldn't have to lose your mind. And you won't if you stick with us. So go turn on the YouTubes, go to the Twitters.
Or just go to rightside.media.org.
I was getting there. Or go to rightside.media.org. And you won't lose your mind anymore. You'll go, oh, I'm home. And you'll also, well, I didn't say we were stable. I just said you'll be home. So it's your tribe. We're here. But you must see what JP has put together for In Between. Also because Allison was like, maybe we could do some tweaks, and they were same braining it at the same time. And so thank you.
I mean, we had
both.
some really good content out there. And my father-in-law, who has started listening, was like, if I have to listen to that, actually, he was very gracious about it. But he's like, so do you have to play the elevator music during the break? Because it makes me want to run and scream.
Okay, I'm be honest. We're gonna go to the montage after this, but whenever I went back and re-listened to something, and I accidentally had the commercial break in the background going, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, I'm gonna go insane with this music." And I was like, "I feel so bad for everybody. We got to change it."
So you didn't believe the 900 people before?
I
that
believed
said
it, but when I heard it for myself, and I was like,
Put me in a room with
Yeah.
a straight jacket.
"Yeah,
So keep it up, dude.
thanks."
Keep it up. All right.
montage.
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 But it's also clear, just sort of as a checking their homework, that they need to do a little more homework. There are 6 men. We went in there for 2 hours. There's millions of files, right? And in a couple of hours, we found 6 men whose names have been redacted, who are implicated in the way that the files are presented. An example of something, maybe it wasn't intentional on their part. I'd like to hear his take on the redaction of the CEO, who's listed as a co-conspirator in the 2019 child sex trafficking case.
He said, "We have just unredacted Les Wexner's name from this document, but his name already appears in the file thousands of other times." And he says the Justice Department is hiding nothing. Is that the retired CEO?
It is. He unredacted it after I found it. That's a problem, and I'm glad they've admitted they made a mistake by redacting that.
She says it conducted another strike against an alleged drug trafficking boat in the eastern Pacific Ocean on Monday, killing 2 people. The US Coast Guard has been deployed to search for a lone survivor of the attack. According to the Pentagon, this brings the total death toll to at least 130 from 38 such strikes carried out since September.
We're not backing down at all. I said today mass deportations will continue. What we said from day one, January 20th, from day one, President Trump and I and other people in the administration said, we're going to prioritize the public safety threats, because that makes the most sense, because they pose the most danger. But we're not, we've arrested a lot of illegal aliens. Look at the numbers, over 700,000 deportations, which is a record for this agency. And 70% of those being criminals. I think that's a better stat than saying we arrested 700,000, deported them, and 70% were non-criminals. No, makes perfect sense for the safety and security of this country.
The English version? Hey, so my NTSB, why I got so many girlfriends? Hey, a lot of girlfriends. Today I got one and tomorrow I got another one. But I never marry.
I want the audience to take a guess whose contribution to the montage that was.
I think that's all I sent you.
That was good though.
But no, I mean, it's okay. Can we start there? Well, no, we got to go to a break. Shoot. Okay. Those were the lyrics to one of Bad Bunny's songs that in English. And if you listen to it, it's like, I got a girlfriend. No, I got another girlfriend. And then I got one more and I got another. I mean, it is the.
And I never marry him.
Yeah. And it's the most ridiculous lyrics. But I have more on that on the other side. But I thought that was a good contribution.
It is.
Allison,
It's funny.
that was great. That was awesome.
Thank you. We'll be back.
Dashing through the snow in a one-horse open sleigh. All the fields we go, laughing all the way.
You people, this is golf! A rock concert!
Why are you going home?
I got sent home for suggesting we do a nativity this year. Apparently I'm Islamophobic.
And what's for lunch?
All they sell is curry now, thanks to Labour and the illegals.
We all know the story, right? 1955, Montgomery, Alabama. Rosa Parks, she's this tired seamstress. She refuses to give up her seat to this white guy. Rosa Parks was a calculating revolutionary whose actions were part of this broader left-wing conspiracy, but the myth that we're all taught is designed to hide this and the radicalism that created it so that we're taught, some feel-good narrative when we're in kindergarten.
Look at MLK and Stanley Levison, who was the CFO of the Communist Party of America, who used Martin Luther King. I mean, he wrote part of the I Have a Dream speech, and he kind of saw MLK as a tool or puppet. Why is there a communist tie-in into all of it? It's just strange to me. It's almost like just like today, like there needed to be a fighting and a racial war almost for them to try to implement what they wanted to implement. So it's strange.
It is my observation that the communists were using the civil rights movement as one more attempt to control the population, because it is their belief that communism can't succeed without first socialism succeeding. And so I think that their point was revolution.
What's different about Minneapolis versus the civil rights movement is that the civil rights movement needed to happen. I don't know if it needed to happen that way. Don't remember communism coming out of it or socialism. But is that the end result of what happened?
I think the end result, if you take communism by its definition of seizing the means of production, what they ended up seizing were our classrooms and our textbooks, and being able to tell a narrative that has spun in their favor.
That's good, Abs.
Thanks,
good.
it's coffee.
Still thinking.
You know, that is getting unwound, and it's time, because there's so much we know that's not true, not just about this, but about many other things. But I think that was what they were able to do. And so now they're reproducing other agitators in other areas of our society.
You're so smart.
We shall discuss Jeffrey Epstein, starting with Kash Patel saying there was no evidence of any children being abused. Essentially, this is what he says: we have been lied to. That is my big takeaway.
I do want to add the Deputy Attorney General Blanche. He not only said physical abuse, but he said death, physical abuse, and injury, which means what?
There was death, physical abuse, and injury.
But you put out something like this in regards to Jeffrey Epstein, and they're talking about this, my ears perk up, and I'm like, maybe Jen Caviezel wasn't absolutely crazy. It's all kind of starting to come together. And then all the stuff, does anybody have the Pizzagate stuff? Everybody thought those people were nuts too. And I think Pizzagate, if you read through these texts, emails, is real.
For too long, not all the pastors, but some of our pastors told us that Christians shouldn't be involved in politics. This is what happens when you abdicate the responsibility for being a civil magistrate, our God-given duty. This crap is what happens when we go, yep, y'all do it. We're just going to hang on until Jesus comes back. This is why it matters that we are involved in politics right here.
The mountain of circumstantial evidence in these files is amazing, to say the least. Bongino made his big return to his podcast today, and his whole, these people are talking about Epstein and the files. They don't even know. They didn't see what I saw. They don't even know what they're talking about. And there's these doomers and these black pillars. And then you see these emails released. It's like, hey, knucklehead, I can see pictures of Prince Andrew over a girl. I can see emails of Epstein.
Welcome back to Rightside Radio. I'm Amy Beth Shaver with Allison Sinclair and JP. And we are bothered. Let me just start out this way, because we can't actually read the lyrics, but there's a new concept, maybe not to you, but it was to me, or just a refreshed concept. Chris and I are reading a book called Marx and Satan by Richard Wurmbrand.
Wait,
Marx and Satan.
M-A-R-X.
Yeah, like Karl Marx.
Okay.
And Satan. And Richard Wurmbrand is he was a survivor of communism and Marxism. He rescued Jewish people. He is a Jew who became a Christian. He's testified. He wrote many, many books on Marxism, on Christianity. He was kind of an amazing human being. But this morning we were reading a little bit about what Karl Marx did. And he wrote a poem or a play, and it was inverting the name Emmanuel, because he started out as a believer. And then he wasn't around 17, which is funny. Isn't that where it kind of seems to be happening if you look across the land?
Oh, I thought you meant like 1700s.
17 years old is when he started changing. but he inverted the name Emmanuel to Lemuel. Okay. Or whatever Emmanuel backward is, it's basically that. Okay. Then Wormbrand goes on to talk about all the times that in the occult, and as with Satanism, Satan always inverts, always. And he inverted the name, one of the names of Christ, Emmanuel for Lemuel, let's say, or lyrics, or takes something that's good and inverts it and makes it bad. If you listen to communists out speaking today, they repeat lyrics or they repeat something that we say, but they invert it. They always twist it. They twist everything. Because remember, think about how many times we've said they twist our words to suit their needs. That's demonic, really. And here we have, it makes the halftime show. We weren't looking for a worship service. All right. It's a halftime show of a football game. But we were looking for something that celebrated America. We were not looking for something that took the joy of married life and inverted it and forced it on us, which in most people's book is highly offensive. Am I wrong?
No, fewer and fewer people's books, but you're not
You
wrong.
know, our books.
Yeah.
Our tribe.
Yep.
And then I say this because the lyrics that were sung to people who were listening, we watched it for research, I didn't know what he was saying, are so dirty. I don't even know what part of these lyrics from Bad Bunny's Musical we can even say out loud.
It's bad. It's out on X where you can find the yeah, like I'm catching glimpses of some because I hadn't read through all of them. You can find the English version, and it's to where we would be kicked off the air if we read
Which,
it.
by the way, we're back on VNN. So,
So
FCC,
don't read it?
FCC
Okay.
is in play right now.
Okay. So it is disgusting. It is vile. It is wrong. It is inappropriate. I mean, you think about, okay, here's what I keep thinking. All the people that don't speak Spanish that were in the crowd, I mean, I guess you could kind of dance along, whatever. You hear the beat, blah, blah. But you know, there were Spanish speaking kids. There were Spanish speaking adults. And if this is what they listen to, I don't know how they aren't appalled. And what's crazy is I have friends on Facebook that are Spanish that are like, that was the best halftime show ever, celebrating Puerto Rican Hispanic culture. What? If these are the lyrics, you need to check yourself.
Yeah.
Before you wreck yourself.
I mean,
Because that's disgusting.
The pornification of music, I know it's been around for a while. I get it. But to take those kind of lyrics, invert a halftime show that should be a celebration about all of us, not just a people group that is it's just forced on us. But then to take lyrics that you knew we didn't know what you were saying.
Oh my God.
They're horrifying.
I mean,
horrifying lyrics. Yes, if you listen to rap or hip hop, you've heard this before. I hope you do not, but if you have, you know exactly what we're talking about. So it's celebrating just tawdriness, basically. And then we're the ones by other Christians, churchgoers, that were made to feel ashamed because we didn't think it was awesome and we were bad people for not wanting to celebrate Puerto Rican or Hispanic heritage. Did y'all read the lyrics? We just knew it was a bad show. We just read the lyrics and we can't even read them out loud.
Yeah. I mean, I'm guilty of it. I'm guilty of listening to music that is not the best, but kind of like Allison said before, I'm not listening to the lyrics. I'm listening to more of the beat of the song, you know? But, people would argue that even with that being the case, you're still letting that into your brain, which I would agree. But even that being the case, I still don't want to see that mainstreamed on Super Bowl halftime show. Because it's like that feeling of, like, I know that everybody's watching and I know parents with their kids are watching and it just grosses me out. Like, if you want to listen to that in your own time, then I can't stop you. But shoving it in the face of the Super Bowl halftime show and then arguing, oh, well, it's in another language, it's fine. Well, not really, because it's still the freaky dancing that was on there. Like, it's just the mainstreaming of that grossness. Like I said, if in your personal time, whatever you want to listen to that music, that's fine. But just the mainstreaming of it is so gross and it degrades society. So
For the Gen Xers out there and the probably not millennials. What's in between Gen X and the boomers? Are they the only one? Does it go?
I'm pretty sure it's boomers to Gen X.
Okay, so that's it. There's no like. Is there an alpha? Like a weird
Gen Alpha.
Gen
yeah,
Alpha is below Gen Z, right?
My grandkids are in Gen
okay.
Alpha.
There's
Yeah.
something in there that's like a few.
Oh,
Anyway,
yeah.
It goes boomers, Gen X, millennials, Gen Z,
alpha.
and then alpha.
Okay, the equivalent is if they played Eazy-E, Two Live Crew. Who else?
Tupac.
No. Tupac would have been fine.
I love Tupac, so yeah.
I mean, Tupac would have, but you get. I mean, like it's bad. It is bad, and I already thought it was stupid, and now it's even stupider.
How desensitized have we become?
I don't know, and that more people from the Hispanic community weren't like, okay, we appreciate the try, but
Yeah.
next time, who is it? Shakira. Okay, she put on a good show.
She did.
Yeah. This was just something else. So go look it up for. Okay.
Don't
yeah,
even go
I
look
just
it
need to turn. I need to.
I know.
Yeah, it's like talking about things I didn't even know were things. And so,
But that's the thing. If you're saying this is promoting your Latin American culture, is that really what you want it to be portrayed as something gross like that?
do you have that whole clip of that guy? So what he played during the montage is a guy, and he's just a white guy. I guess he speaks Spanish, and he puts on this like hat and like a luau shirt or something, and he's singing the lyrics of one of the Bad Bunny songs as if he's Bad Bunny, and it's really funny because he's trying to be. I don't think there's any cuss words in it.
I don't think. I'll have my finger on the dump button just
I don't
in
think
case.
so. But along with the nastiness of it, then you get to like, this is just stupid. I don't know if you have it.
Yeah, I got it right here. So this is the English. The name on there says Gringo saying it. So it's yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you are on the dump button, right?
Yeah, I'll be on the dump button.
I don't think.
I
didn't think there was last time either. So
We'll just proceed with caution.
okay.
English version? Hey, so my auntie asked me why I got so many girlfriends. Hey, a lot of girlfriends. Today I got one and tomorrow I got another one. But I never marry. Yo, my auntie asked me why I got so many girlfriends. Hey, a lot of girlfriends. Today I got one and tomorrow I got another one. Man, I think I want to take them all to the VIP, Hey, well, they can be my auntie and we're going to take a selfie and say cheese. They smile if they already been with me in the VIP, Hey, well, they can be my auntie and we're going to take a selfie and say cheese.
We can take a selfie and you can meet my auntie in the VIP, and I'm going to have one girlfriend and then two girlfriends and then three girlfriends and then one more. What? That's what you think will entertain? Well, I guess it did entertain us. Just stupid, nonsensical.
Did you see that he deleted Bad Bunny deleted all his tweets and all his social media? He kept the
What?
followers,
Yeah, I don't know what
but
that's
he
about.
wiped everything out.
That means he's pulling a Taylor Swift. He's about to come out as like a new person.
I hope so, because he needs to have a come to Jesus and come out as that kind of person.
Remember?
Is he going to come out as like artist formerly known as Prince?
Yeah, he might, or he might come out as knowing Jesus, or he might come out as now he's a dog.
I mean, who knows? Anything at this point is
Bad.
possible.
Yeah, I don't know, but that show, if those lyrics are right, we got issues, bigger issues.
I think I need
And
to.
all the people cheering it on should have shame. Shame.
Wow. Yeah, those lyrics are eye opening.
Do y'all want to go ahead and take a break and then we can get into some text?
We do have some texts.
That boat strike. I didn't know we were still striking boats.
Oh, yeah. I love watching the videos of that, too.
They go on.
Also, I take issue with one of the things he said. I want to ask y'all if you heard what the commentator said.
About the boat strikes?
Yeah.
Oh,
didn't
yeah.
hear
yeah.
it.
Okay. Oh, what's all about?
Did you play it during the montage?
Yeah. I had to find a British person speaking about it because that was the only video of somebody saying what happened. So, but yeah.
Okay. We'll cover that on the other side. We'll be right back.
About underage girls, I can see Epstein talking to all these people. All I'm saying is that shouldn't be the end of it. Okay. So if you're going to say, well, you don't know what I know. Well, I saw the files that I'm sure you saw. And if you're saying that's not worth another investigation and we just need to move on, then I don't even know what to say to that.
Have y'all ever heard the term cute aggression? I have never heard this term, but it's a legit thing. It's a normal emotional reaction where someone feels a sudden urge to squeeze, pinch, or say exaggerated things like, I could just eat you up, when they see something extremely cute, such as a baby, a puppy, or a kitten. Even though the word aggression is in the name, it doesn't mean you want to hurt them. But psychologists think cute aggression is your brain's way of balancing overwhelmingly positive emotions. When you feel something is too adorable, your emotional response spikes so high that the brain adds a tiny counter feeling, aggression-like energy, to regulate it.
That makes sense.
I had no clue, but think about that. Like your aunt is like, oh, you're just so cute. Or you see a baby and you're like, I just want to eat you up.
Yes.
I didn't know that was an actual thing.
Didn't
know that 3 Alabama congressmen voted this week to fund child mutilation, DEI initiatives, and abortions paid for by your tax money. Robert Adderholt, Mike Rogers, and Dale Strong of Alabama all voted against Amendment number 2, which would remove these initiatives from HR 7148. It was brought by Ralph Norman of South Carolina, who is actually one of my favorite congressmen. He said, hey, let's pass the bill, but can we just take these things out? And those 3 from Alabama voted to keep your tax dollars paying for those things. I don't know about y'all, but there's lines in the sand for me. If you're going to call yourself a conservative, if you're going to call yourself a Republican, those are lines you don't cross. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if they're compromised. I don't know if they like child mutilation, but it is unacceptable that these 3 voted for this. You need to call their offices and let them know how you feel. If you live in their district, need to reverse course here because this isn't looking good.
What if everything we think we know is wrong? Hey y'all, it's Abs with Rightside. And during this Black History Month, perhaps you've heard me talk about my quest on the show, but I'm on a quest to find out what's true. Because if we've interacted with what isn't true, then we have to stop and ask why. What we think matters because it affects the way we behave. And if we've been told things that aren't true by people who have nefarious intentions so that they can capture us and get us to do what they want, rather than us living freely, not as victims, not in need of perpetual handouts, wouldn't that change everything? Wouldn't that set us free? Here's my first recommendation. Chad O. Jackson has, well, he's got several documentaries. One is Uncle Tom 1 and 2. Start there. Or check out Chad O. Jackson in History Revelata. I've started the MLK series only on episode 1 and my mind is blown. Consider Vince Everett Ellison, who's written among other books, The Iron Triangle. It will blow your mind. Or Daryl Harrison and Virgil Walker with Just Thinking. They have several episodes on Black history, BLM, etc. I want to know the truth because the truth matters. I'll see you soon.
Am I the only one that's sick and tired of a bunch of yeah buts from our Republicans in Congress?
Yeah, we voted to keep gender mutilation and abortions and DEI initiatives all paid for by your taxpayer dollars in the resolution to continue funding the government. But it included, some other stuff that it's really complicated and nuanced and you wouldn't understand. Or how about, we voted to keep funding $5 billion to refugee welfare in this resolution to keep funding the government as well. But it's actually not adding any new immigration, and it's upholding current law, and President Trump wanted us to pass it. It's all pathetic and insane. If you're a Republican in Congress and you are voting for this crap and you lash out on your constituents that are calling it out, then the problem is not us, the problem is you. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go look up Amendment number 2 to H.R. 7148, which was an amendment to withdraw gender mutilation, abortions, and DEI initiatives from this resolution to continue funding the government. And members of our own Alabama delegation, including Dale Strong, Robert Adderholt, and Mike Rogers, all voted against it and had a bunch of buts in response to that, of course. And then also go look up the $5 billion in refugee welfare that passed the House.
I mean, just like that, we're at the end of the 2:00 hour. I'm Amy Beth Shaver with Allison Sinclair and JP. We're going to be joined by Jared Hudson at the 4:30 block. But before then, we're going to roll through your text. And then after that, we will go back to montage stories. And there is a lot of montage stories today. So, and it's only Tuesday.
Are we going to do the 3?
So much. Yes.
Because I need
look, I have
okay.
the 3. I've got a 3 story at the top, but don't look.
Well, I got to find a story.
Okay. So JP, let's do text first.
If y'all want to text in, let us know your thoughts throughout the show. The number to text in is 833-687-4448 or 833-68 Right. RIGHT, right. Julie in Rough Marshall County. Okay, I disagree with this. She says bring back stoning.
Oh, that's especially brutal.
Good.
But hey, look.
It's biblical.
I know.
What she wants.
I wouldn't want to watch that.
Well, it's not what we want to watch.
You want to watch the guillotine?
He does.
Because
Did you
you
see
play
his
Call
face?
of Duty and you love the blood.
Do you think about the Roman Empire once a day?
Yeah. At some capacity.
Is that true? Know if that's true.
Once a day?
Once
maybe,
every couple days?
Maybe once every, at least a couple times a week. Yeah.
And when you think about the Roman Empire, what do you think? Like, I wish I could be a gladiator?
It depends. I mean, it's all on the foundation of how they were so successful like they were. So it's just different ways of like, how did they pull that off? And why are we not doing, and how expansive they were. So yeah.
Like the aqueducts, you think about that. And building, and
they did a lot of things.
They did do a lot of things.
It's just
that sounds so
because they dominated.
They were quite accomplished.
When we were in Rome and we toured the Colosseum, I was like,
you're in awe, right?
Yeah, it's pretty sick.
I mean, and then you're standing there and you think, how in the world they ripped Christians apart? It was because of a monk that they ended the practice. He got killed for standing up to what was wrong. And then we think we're so precious that here in the States, we need to tear down offensive statues. Bothers me.
I'll say this one bit because we're not going to talk about it long, but I do think about how the Roman Empire went from a Roman Republic to the Roman Empire and was like a civil war. And sometimes I wonder if we're if history is repeating itself a little bit. But
okay,
this is for another time. Mike from Florence says, it reminds me of my son was in show choir in middle school. They had a performance at school and the song Yeah by Usher came on. My jaw dropped wondering what faculty allowed it and how many of the adults actually knew what some of the lyrics meant.
I don't even know what that song is.
I've sung that song so many times.
Amy Beth, you do.
Do I have heard it like at basketball?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. But I don't know anything past. Yeah.
Can we just have
they
the
just
music?
Say, whatever. That's the thing. Yeah. I don't listen to the lyrics. I listen to the music part.
But I mean, at some point, your brain does go.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying subconsciously. I'm meaning consciously. At some point, you kind of hone in and it clicks, and you're like, oh my God. Or if you're a middle schooler, you're like, oh, well, my teacher said I should be dancing and listening to this.
It started when I was in middle school and when we would work out football summer workouts with the high schoolers, and they would blast the rap music, and that's where it started. But yeah, it's hard. It's hard to. Why does everything have to be so gross? I don't get it. Can't just have good music. Jeff from Indiana says, on the halftime show on Facebook, I tried to write something derogatory about Bad Bunny, and then I asked Facebook AI to help me write it so that it would be a proper sentence. And it changed everything I said and made it complimentary to Bad Bunny, saying how awesome the show was and how awesome he was. Frowning face.
What?
Hey, speaking of, do you know what else I realized on Siri? Remember how I said Siri won't type out retarded?
Mhm.
Yes.
I found that out. Siri capitalizes demon.
Oh, she's trying to talk to you.
That's freaky. Siri capitalizes demon. If you say demon, it will capitalize it, and it lowercases God. And it won't write out retarded.
We'll try it in the break.
That's scary.
Y'all regularly use Siri?
I use Siri all the time. It's why none of my texts sound right.
I don't think I've ever used Siri on this phone once.
You know what?
Or like
you're
dictation.
missing out. You don't remind yourself and set reminders
do
or
it myself.
timers.
Or when you're leaving a text, you don't hit the little audio.
No,
So you can.
I don't. The only time I do audio messages is like a voice recording if I know it's going to be long, but I type everything.
So when you're driving, you type?
Oh, I scroll reels while I drive. I scroll TikTok
JP,
while
Don't
I drive.
admit that.
I do. I do it. Yeah.
Listeners, do y'all do that?
Well, try Siri. Yeah, try
Try
demon.
Siri. I
There's
will
been-
try demon.
There's been times when my friends know I'm driving and I'll send them a reel and they'll text me back, stop. I know you're
Yeah,
driving.
It's not worth it.
I'm a good driver. That's all the text we got right now. If y'all want to let us know your thoughts, that number is 833-687-4448 on the text line.
Okay. So to put final thoughts on our last conversation. Anything else to add?
To Bad Bunny?
Yeah.
No, I'm kind of tired of talking about him.
No, I think it's great that we're tired of talking about him because ew. Goodbye.
Ew.
How about that? Done. Stop. Moving on.
I do.
We're
I am
fast forwarding
curious
through.
what the heck his deleting social media.
Yeah, that was
about.
weird. What did y'all think about Kendrick Lamar's last year? Did y'all feel the same way?
I didn't watch it.
I don't even remember his.
I liked it, but I feel like most people had the
Wait,
same reaction.
did he have a lot of the
Oh.
old school guys in his performance?
No. That was like 2 or 3 years before.
Okay.
Kendrick's was during like the peak beef with Drake, and it was like the big.
Yes,
It had
I did see
Serena
it.
Williams in it.
Yes,
I did watch it.
And she was doing the
he was
dance.
the like whatever dance that is.
Yeah, to kind of throw shade at Drake because
Yeah.
she used to date Drake.
Yeah.
What's that called?
Oh, I don't know.
I don't know the name of the dance.
Man, I don't know. Well, it was kind of cool. It had that car. They kept coming out of the car. It's like 900 people came out of that car on top of the. That was cool.
I thought it was good, but I feel like most conservatives didn't like that one. But
Just
Bring back
just
like
blitz.
Aerosmith.
Yeah, please.
Yeah, that was good. That would be good.
Mm.
Or like Guns N' Roses. I'm
yeah,
sure they're.
Metallica. something
Oh,
like that.
that would be good.
Or country music.
Yeah.
Good country.
We'll be back.
Be included in the resolution to continue funding the government, which every single member of Alabama's House voted for this. That's right. All members of our Alabama delegation in the House voted to continue funding it. Props to Tuberville and Katie Britt in the Senate, though, that voted against it. But when you call out this stuff to representatives, in our Alabama delegation, and their response is to lash out and become petty because they're simply calling this stuff out, I'm sorry. The problem is you. And I don't know, maybe you're not cut out for politics because the yeah buts, we're sick and tired of them. And all you're saying with your yeah buts is that this thing means more important than stopping funding to refugee welfare to the tune of $5 billion of your taxpayer dollars. Just saying. The Democrats, when they're in power, don't have a bunch of yeah buts. They just get stuff done for their side and destroy America. Meanwhile, when Republicans try to save America, it's just a bunch of yeah buts to continue funding the crap that Democrats want to fund. And you know what? We're sick and tired of it.
In case you missed it, Alabama, all 5 of your Republican congressmen voted last week to continue funding refugee welfare. Yes, to the tune of $5 billion. Barry Moore, Gary Palmer, Dale Strong, Robert Adderholt, and Mike Rogers, Republicans, all voted to give $5 billion in your tax dollars to refugees in America. I don't get it. With all that's going on in Minnesota, how in the world can a conservative continue to give into programs that are obviously fraudulent and being used against America? To me, this borderlines on treason, and I'm not trying to be dramatic, but we are not representing American people anymore. When we're $39 trillion in debt, and we're giving billions still to people that aren't even American citizens. And here's the worst part. Probably your congressman, if you call and ask why they voted for House Resolution 7006, they're going to say, well, there were some really good things in there for America. We had to vote for it to continue this program. Well, that's like me coming up to you and right before I punch you in the face saying, you're really pretty and really nice. It doesn't work. Like at some point, we have to stop giving money to the people that hate us, to the things that are going to destroy this country. And why these five, the three of them I get, but Barry Moore and Gary Palmer, I'm so confused. I have no clue why they wouldn't stand up, because 24 Republicans voted against this bill. Why didn't they? It's not like they'd be the only ones. And even if you are the only one, do the right thing.
And it is a big deal because one of the most popular podcasters in the world, Sean Ryan, was told to stop talking about this story.
Last week, I received a demand letter from lawyers representing Kanakuk Ministries, a Christian summer camp in Missouri. They're threatening to sue me for defamation because of something I said on my podcast with Congressman Ro Khanna,
which smacks of arrogance and more abuse, because there are plenty of people who've come forward to talk about it. I was looking. So these camps, there's a lot of people that have been at these camps, Allison Sinclair, like a lot, 500,000 over the years.
Are you talking about
in general, like over all these years?
Or you mean Kanakuk camps?
Kanakuk camps, okay, since 1926 has hosted more than 500,000 campers and 50,000 staffers in Missouri and its many international locations. These stories that we heard about happened in Missouri.
It's in Branson, right?
And yes, in Branson, Missouri. And it's a sports camp. Like it's a fun evangelical sports themed camp. Is that fair to say?
I don't know that.
Well, ish.
It's just where all the cool kids go.
Yeah. Well, Peter Newman, who was one of the camp's directors, years ago pleaded guilty to sexually abusing 6 boys. But since then, the camp has touted itself as a leader in child safety, holding seminars, etc. Except interviews with dozens of victims and former camp employees reported that they didn't seek justice for the victims. They prioritized ministering to those accused of wrongdoing.
Hey, Lindsay, why don't you just admit that you're gay and then people won't blackmail you anymore?
Start shooting. Just start shooting. Honestly, at this point, you don't have anything to lose because they're already going to shoot you for doing nothing. Start shooting back. I don't know.
Stop it. Get some help.
Abortion is an act of love.
Abortion is an act of love.
Abortion is an act of love.
When I first heard the slogan that abortion is an act of love, I retracted just a little. And then I started thinking about my sister's story. And I started thinking about individual case stories and saving lives and saving futures. That abortion can be the most loving act that we can have.
I beg your pardon? Is it the position of the ACLU that people should have to be U.S. citizens in order to vote in Arizona's elections?
It is the ACLU's position that voting should be fair and accessible and to everyone who is eligible.
That would be a U.S. citizen.
That doesn't make sense.
Donald J. Trump calling Thomas Massey a moron at the National Prayer Breakfast. That's the thing. It was this morning.
Now, no matter what we do, this moron, no matter what it is, we could put them all together. I think, Mike, what would you say the top 5 things? Name them. We'll put them in one bill, and we'll put them before we'll get 100% vote, except for...
Welcome back to Rightside Radio. I am Amy Beth Shaver with Allison Sinclair and JP. So it is now on to Epstein and the latest information that's come out. It seems to get, like the halftime show, worse and more depraved the longer we look into it. Would you not agree with that?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
There is one thing. We were talking about it off air, JP, earlier today after our podcast. There is one thing that's completely messed with the narrative that Donald Trump and Epstein were friends or were on the island together, whatever. It was on record that Donald Trump was the one who, in 2006, ratted out Epstein and specifically named Ghislaine Maxwell. That does not fit the narrative that the media has spun and people with Trump derangement syndrome have spun about him. But more than that, what are your thoughts on Anna Paulina Luna leaving angry? What are your thoughts on Massey and the co-conspirators, specifically Wexner getting named, but there were more? So Anna Paulina, Massey, what should happen next?
Well, can we do a little update on what we've found out over the past 24 hours before we get into that? Because I can't keep up with it all.
Yeah.
I did see Les Wexner. Wexner.
Yep.
Who is who?
Les Wexner, I know him as the CEO of Victoria's Secret.
Victoria's Secret. It was the Gap, Banana Republic, Old Navy, that family of stores.
So what is he in the files doing?
As a co-conspirator, as a part, alongside Epstein in the trafficking.
And so what does that mean? Like he was helping transport girls?
Helping transport, possibly receiving girls, so he was alongside Epstein in that. I don't know specific what it looked like, but he was alongside Epstein in the trafficking of girls.
So how did we get his name?
Because Ro Khanna and Thomas Massey were able to go in, look at the documents. There were 6 names that were redacted. Then they went out and complained about the names, and then 2 names were unredacted. So they needed 4 to go back and be able to be seen. But Wexner's name and that billionaire from I don't even know where were named as co-conspirators that apparently we were talking earlier today about being ones who are participating in the cover-up. But why, for those 4, are their names still being covered up? And is Trump covering up for them, or is it other people? Which is part of that question.
So, okay, here we go. The Sultan Ahmed bin Sulayem, who is frequently attends the World Economic Forum. He's the one that was in the email that said, "I really like the torture video."
Yeah, which we talked about on air.
Okay, so why would we protect him?
Yeah, that's the question.
Because he's a billionaire?
I don't know. I think Todd Blanche responded to Thomas Massey because Massey went on CNN and just flat out said, yeah, Les Wexner is in the files redacted. And Todd Blanche came out and said that, well, his name's in the files, not redacted, but his name was in the files as kind of like what Trump's name was in the files, like in passing, like talking about. But in terms of Les Wexner being a co-conspirator and actually partaking in the trafficking, his name was redacted. And it was only until after Massey said it that they unredacted it. And so that's where the problem is. And just like with this UAE billionaire of why did they redact his name as somebody who was a co-conspirator with Epstein? Let me say this too. There's a middle ground between saying Donald Trump partook in trafficking, which I don't believe he did, and it's pretty clear he didn't. There's a middle ground between saying that and also saying, oh, the Epstein files is a liberal lie against Trump and the Republicans because they hate what's going on. What I think is Trump did not traffic kids. I think that's clear. He actually called the police on Epstein in 2006, to try and stop it. But also, it's now clear that this administration did protect pedophiles and traffickers.
You're talking about the Trump administration?
The Trump administration and the DOJ, the Trump DOJ. And that's where I have a problem, because if you were going to say the whole time that there's no evidence of people being trafficked, like actual trafficking and names of, well, then now you just got caught lying and you got caught redacting the names, and now you're only unredacting because Massey's calling it out. Mm-hmm. So we go back to the question of why. Is there people that are in Trump's ear saying like, look, it will really ruffle a lot of feathers if Sultan Ahmed bin Sulayem is in the files, because he's a billionaire, could crash markets, whatever. Whatever the reasoning is, the fact that that's happening is a problem. Because that I put truth above party. Okay, so if the Republican Party is partaking in stuff like this, I got an issue with it. So there's a middle ground between saying Trump's in the files trafficking kids and there's nothing to it. I think there is something to it. It may not be Donald Trump himself, but the Trump DOJ just got caught protecting 6 co-conspirators.
So, okay. Somebody tell me, can you go, okay, apparently there's a room, like some random room. It's not even a skiff.
Ooh.
What I read, there's a room somewhere in the Capitol or somewhere in an office building, and there's only like 4 computers in there that Congress can rotate in and out. And they're like, even if you had one person sit in there on the computer to get through all the files, it would be like 27 years to read through each page. So they've only put out 4 computers and everybody's having to rotate going in and out. So you're saying Massey and Ro Khanna go in there and they are probably specifically looking for these names. You got to know where you want to go. How can they walk out of there and just spill the beans? Like, is that legal? You can go on CNN.
I heard yesterday that, and I heard apparently 40 minutes ago on one of our friends' Facebook page, is Ro Khanna did go on the floor.
Because I know you can do it on the floor.
And they went on the floor.
Okay.
And they were giving names.
Okay.
And this is, 40 minutes ago. So that's the only place that I understand that you can talk about it. I don't know other places that you could. But you're right. They've given them an impossible amount of information. I don't know how you map it out so that somebody gets 5 pages. I mean, how many people would you need to employ to get all the information on there? But I'm also back with what you're saying, JP. It does appear that they covered up for 6 people. That doesn't make any sense. Why would Trump rat Epstein out all those years ago and then suddenly not want this information to come out? Because we know Kash Patel did his darndest to tell us there was nothing. Pam Bondi did her TV stunt with the binders, blah, blah, blah.
But do you remember Kash and Dan did an interview together?
Yes.
Where they both sat there and said, there's nothing. We would have seen it. We would be able to tell you there's nothing there. So it's not like he just did it once. Like, they continued and doubled down. And I'm pretty sure Kash perjured himself in front of the entire congressional committee. But I don't know. I don't know what the answer is to that. Did y'all see that France's former culture minister has resigned, Jack Lane, because his name's all over? And what was the other country where somebody resigned last week?
UK.
Oh, Starmer's
right-hand
Starmer's.
man.
Yeah. So they're starting to fall. I don't know how you get, because Congress is like a freaking middle school. It is just like middle school, except richer and older. How in the world did they think they were going to be able to keep this contained? And maybe that was the point. Maybe it was, hey, maybe this is the play. Look, we can't just let the public see it, but we're going to say, because we were forced by Congress to be transparent because of Massey's bill, we're going to let y'all see it, and then y'all can go to the floor and say whatever you want, but we're clear. I don't know. I mean, I yes, ma'am. Did you raise your hand?
I did.
Okay.
You made me think of something.
What'd you think?
Is it possible that Bongino and Patel went on that interview as subterfuge, as fake, saying we haven't seen anything, but they knew the whole time they did, and they were running an op even on the people who thought, oh, good, we're fine.
What would the point? What would they
catch them by surprise, make them think no one's ever going to know anything, and then they're still going to expose them? I mean, they don't ever do anything without a plan.
Mm-hmm.
I think he lied. Like, I think he just lied. I think there was plausible deniability in what they showed them. We talked about this a couple weeks ago. But I'm sitting here thinking, what if it was all an op?
Okay, wait. What if it was? Because then if the Republicans are like, there's nothing there, then you get the Democrats going, we know it's there. We know it's there. And then the Dems start pushing to release it all.
Exactly.
And then you're like, well, I mean, okay, we'll release it. And then they're all caught.
I don't know.
Are we stretching?
Well, I see what y'all are saying. I just don't think the Trump administration really thought they were going to be forced to do what they're doing right now. I think that interview was before Massey brought up the bill to release all of the unredacted files. I think the Trump administration thought it's really, do we have to? Like, that's just really ruffling a lot of feathers, and thought like they wouldn't be forced to release it. And it's like, well, Trump is in the files, even though he didn't do anything. And that would just be a lot of like, wait, let's just not, like, it's too much. And I don't think they got forced to, no, you're going to do it. But like, it was such an unforced error politically. Just release them. Like, if Trump's not implicated in it, which he's not, then just release the files. Okay. You can argue national security, whatever, but to go out of your way to protect billionaires and co-conspirators looks like you're protecting pedophiles, which is what it is. And I got a problem with that because, like I said, truth prevails for me. And if you're protecting evil and giving evil refuge, then that's a problem. So I think the Trump administration thought, that's just really, that's just not good, whatever. If they would have just released it, Trump wouldn't have been, caught doing anything because he didn't do anything. But it's just, now you go down the more sinister route of who in the administration. It just looks like an elitist protecting, our own. That's what it looks like. Like Trump and his buddies. Trump's protecting his buddies or whatever. Whether that's true or not, that's how it looks.
Yeah.
So it's just a complete unforced. It was just a blunder. This whole thing is a blunder, and they're paying for it really bad, and it doesn't look good. So I don't know. Maybe there's something to that. I personally just think the Trump administration genuinely did not think they would have to do what they're doing right now.
So I know we have to take a break, but my question that I included in the long list of questions, what will happen versus what should happen when we come back?
We'll be back.
This guy named Thomas Massey, there's something wrong with him.
Why we got to be like that?
Yeah.
I guess because I thought Massey did the right thing. We were calling all of Congress out yesterday for allowing, what was it, $1.3 trillion to go to scholarships for higher education for underprivileged kids in Egypt. And that's what Trump is saying. Massey's a terrible person. Massey went through, he voted, or he put an amendment out to make it so the government can't put a kill switch on your car. Congress voted it down. The Republican majority voted it down. So why is he an idiot? And even if
he said moron.
I'm sorry. Is there a difference?
Probably technically, but I don't know.
Hey, Siri. What's the difference between a moron and an idiot?
According to Merriam-Webster, an idiot is a foolish or stupid person, while a moron is a mildly mentally retarded person.
Siri said it. Okay.
Siri said retarded?
Yes, mildly retarded.
Is that because she's British?
Yeah, probably.
Mildly retarded.
She sounded so nice when she was saying
Existing housing, people that own their homes, we're going to keep them wealthy. We're going to keep those prices up. We're not going to destroy the value of their homes so that somebody that didn't work very hard can buy a home.
The whole messaging of the younger generation doesn't work hard enough to even own a home. First of all, it's awful optics, and that's a great way to lose Gen Z. So it's not great messaging, but then second off, it's just wrong. I think the narrative that my generation doesn't work hard enough to own a home, and that's why they're struggling to own homes, is just not true.
I think the enemy making the older generation the enemy is also wrong. Just like it's wrong to make the younger generation the enemy. Nobody's the enemy. Money's money. And we had better get in control of it if we want to get out of this at all. He pitted two groups against each other. That's wrong. That's not what we're for. We are for working on things we can work on so that everybody benefits. That's conservatism. And he didn't say that well.
I think instead of saying, I want all the boomers to get rich off their homes, I think he was saying, I don't want the boomers to lose their fannies when we drive housing prices down. Like, it's not that he thinks they're going to get rich off the backs of kids, even though that's what he kind of said. I'm assuming he's like, well, if we drive housing prices down, then all these people that have worked so hard and then have finally gotten there. I think what he's trying to say is, I want them to at least be able to keep the value of their home or make money. I just don't want them to lose money. And that's a reasonable thing to say.
Could we talk about the prevalence of anti-Semitism?
Yes, we can. And anti-Semitism is a real problem. It's been on the left for a really long time. There's a strain of anti-Semitism starting to emerge on the right that I think we should pay attention to. But I would say at the same time, that term anti-Semitism has become just about as useless as the term racism. We know that there are lots of people get accused of racism who are not racist. You know, there are lots of things that people will put that racist label on that are not racism at all. And the same kind of thing can happen with anti-Semitism. If you say what I said a few minutes ago, which is that Jews have to believe in Jesus to be saved, there are people who will say that's anti-Semitic. You say that Jews have to trust in Jesus to find salvation. Some people will say that's anti-Semitic. So we have to be very discerning here about what's actually being talked about. I would say that the flip side of that is if you say Jews can't be saved, for example, like Jews just can't be saved for whatever reason, that the branches on the tree of the covenant that were broken out can't be grafted back in, that would truly be anti-Semitic. If you say that Jews are uniquely malevolent and you use them as a scapegoat and blame them for all the problems, say, of Western society, or you think that, Jews absolutely run the world and control everything. I mean, there are some of these, there are people who will say things like that. That could verge over into a kind of anti-Semitism. If you refuse to acknowledge the good contributions that Jews have made, that could be a form of anti-Semitism. But a lot of things that get labeled anti-Semitism are not anti-Semitism. Criticizing the nation of Israel is not anti-Semitic. Questioning our nation's foreign policy towards Israel is not anti-Semitic. In the Bible, there's a long history of criticizing the Jewish people. Just read the prophets. Look at Jesus, look at Paul, and these are Jews who are criticizing other Jews for their unfaithfulness to God. They're not anti-Semitic. It's not an issue of race. It's an issue of covenant faithfulness. It's an issue of obedience to God.
My opponent, Nehemiah John Wall, admitted he tried to vote using a homemade fake ID. We could not be more different. I, like President Trump, support voter ID laws while my opponent breaks them.
There's nothing here that is not very simply explained. And you have to push back immediately on.
Welcome back to Rightside Radio. I am Amy Beth with Allison and JP. So as we roll into 3:30, we had a question, which is what will happen, what should happen versus what will happen in this case. What are y'all's thoughts?
Can I just give one more piece of information that I found?
Yes.
Real quickly before we close this subject. Did y'all see that in the documents, they show that an FBI agent removed the hard drive from the jail's camera system and wiped all the footage?
I'm sorry. suicide or post?
This is, let's see, here's
Epstein, that is.
Yeah. I think
Just
it was
tuning in.
post, but they said, you know how they said they lost it or they just don't have that footage. They don't have those few minutes. Well, apparently that's not the case. I need to dig in. I was curious if y'all heard that as well. Because, I mean, there's a lot of stuff out there that's not true.
Yeah, I saw another one. I don't know if it's true. In the files, someone alleges that they faked out the media and rolled out a fake body of Epstein and then actually brought his real dead body out like a side exit. I don't know if that's true. That's just in the files. Like somebody alleges that in an email or something. I
His
don't know.
real dead body. So he's dead. They just took the dead body out a different way.
Yeah, whoever in the emails alleged that they brought out a fake body for the media to like take pictures of them putting him like the body covered.
But what's the
into an
point of
ambulance.
that?
I don't know. And they actually put the real body out and a side exit into a truck or something. I don't know. I don't know if that's true.
Okay.
That's just in there. But yeah.
Hmm.
What you ask? What should happen?
What
should happen? What will happen?
What should happen is all the files go out unredacted, and whatever billionaires are implicated as co-conspirators are implicated as co-conspirators. That just get it over with. I'm like, you're making it worse the longer you draw out. What will happen? I would guess that Massey and Khanna are going to keep just going on CNN or on the floor and saying names and then forcing the Trump administration to unredact them. And then we'll see what goes from there. But that's what I would expect.
Yeah, same thing. That's what should happen. They should unredact everything. Just let the chips fall as they may. And I'm sorry, but like time for protecting your buddies is over. And I don't care if Trump's in it, let Trump be in it. If he's not, he's not, you know, and everybody's got to move on. But I don't think they do that. I think it's going to have to be Congress leaks everything.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just a slow drip. But apparently this is not letting up. And I'm for that. And I think probably the Trump administration is on its heels because they thought they could just
make it go away.
Yeah, most of the time the American people have like embarrassingly short attention spans. So normally we've moved on by now, but not on this one.
But if they would have said that with like the JFK or MLK files or something, people would have been like, that's really weird and would have moved on. But when you do it with Epstein, that's, yeah.
What do you think?
Well, and by the way, let's throw in here, who knew about Steve Bannon?
And Peter Attia. We haven't even talked about Peter Attia.
So those are two names that are just disappointing inside of the whole conversation. Release them all. I'm with you guys. Release them all. And then to tie back into the initial conversation of the day, what forms of ancient executions should we bring back for the guilty parties? For me, it would be firing squad. Goodbye. If you assault a child, you hurt women or men, because you've seen the survivors are men and women, you do not need to be here. You don't deserve to be here anymore.
How about we let the people convicted and implicated in the conspirators joust each other?
Okay.
What about
why not?
We feed them to the lions or something.
Hey,
that's a thought.
Hey,
and then we stone
the
them.
Coliseum is still standing.
Yeah.
Put them all back in there.
I don't have
know.
some warships. Did you see that? How they used to
that's-
flood it?
Yeah, that's
Isn't it amazing?
Pretty cool. Yeah. All right.
We think we're so smart.
We are.
We are, but they were really smart.
They're super smart. All right. We'll be back with more news on the other side.
Y'all have heard us talk about Inspire Advisors, how Paul Breyer and his team at Inspire Advisors will help you grow your investment portfolio while also screening out companies that don't stand for conservative Christian principles.
Paul and his team are experts on what they call biblically responsible investing. And for a limited time, they're hosting a free class that you can register for.
Check out the class and register for free at moneypatternwealth.com. It's godly, it's conservative, and it's financial freedom.
Again, go to Inspire Advisors at moneypatternwealth.com. Check them out and tell them you heard about them at Rightside.
fake homemade ID. Well, guys, I don't have a ID maker in my basement. I don't know where that. Look, I love how you said I admitted to doing that. I'm like, well, I would never admit to that because I kind of can't because I don't even know how I would do that. I had voted one time. I had voted with a ID from the state auditor's office where I was working as a volunteer press secretary at the time. And this state auditor at the time has come out and said, he approved it. And it was professionally printed by a vendor. This wasn't, something that was fake. It wasn't something that was, had homemade or anything. And so I find these attacks very disingenuous. I find them very deceptive to the public. They're misrepresentations. They are lies. You could argue about the discrepancy of whether that ID was or was not, a valid ID to use at the polls.
But they let you vote.
Oh, all I did was ask the poll worker, does this work? They sent a copy was sent to the probate judge. The probate judge said yes, and I would vote it. Like all I did was ask a question. And so to blow this up and to accuse me of somehow being, voter fraud. Look, I was voting in my voting precinct for my vote, my constitutional right, with an ID. Whether you want to argue whether it meets the exact standards of the law or not, this was not voter fraud. And
but it was
breaking the
okayed
law.
by your probate judge.
It was okayed by the probate judge. That's correct.
3 countries have sent military forces to Greenland to protect Greenland from the United States. Germany, Norway, and the UK have all sent soldiers. So to go and protect Greenland from the big bad bully, the United States, Germany sent 13 soldiers, the Norway sent 2, and England sent 1 guy over there to protect Greenland from the United States.
Did they fly them over? Did they? How did they get there?
Swim.
I mean, they didn't swim, but I mean, like, did they think they'd like fly them in a whole formation? Like, we're here for you, Greenland.
So can you imagine being the one guy though? Like if you're the one soldier in the UK and you're the only one that's asked to go to Greenland.
He's the one that they're like, what are we going to do with Bill?
Just send him to
We're
Greenland.
just sending Bill to Greenland.
He drives me nuts. Maybe it's like their best soldier they got. I wonder if that's going to affect anything we do. Like, Mr. President, can I speak to you for a moment? Germany sent 13 soldiers. Norway sent 2. And the UK sent 1 soldier. And Trump's just like, we need to have a meeting.
How Paul Breyer and his team at Inspire Advisors.
You're talking like a robot.
Domo arigato, Mr. Roboto. You've heard us talk about Inspire Advisors, how Paul Breyer and his team of investment advisors. Allison!
Sorry. Okay, sorry.
Hey, y'all. You've heard us talk about investment. JP, turn around. Okay. Go in the other room.
Anything else to do but look at JP.
All right, don't look at JP.
Oh.
Look at the camera.
Okay.
This is our big break. This commercial is our big break. It's not even funny.
Okay.
Hey, y'all. You've heard us talk about our friends.
Howdy, y'all.
Hey, you've heard us talk about
Gang,
Inspire Advisors. We'll get it, JP. Just don't give up on us. Welcome back to Rightside Radio. I am Amy Beth Shaver with Allison Sinclair and JP. So moving on to a couple of other stories. One is the drug boat strike, which I was not aware that we were doing another strike. Number 2,
They didn't call you?
They didn't call me and tell me.
Abs.
We
You
are
feel
doing
left
a
out?
drug boat strike. They didn't tell me about that. Then we don't know anything about Nancy Guthrie. This is weird. Somebody in a mask and
Getting
gloves. It's really, really weird. I can't tell from the body if it's a man or a woman.
Same.
It's a man.
It's a man.
But
Are
it
you
kind of
sure
looked
it's a
like
man?
the eyes look kind
It
of
looked
womanish.
like a lady. It looked like she had on like
a mustache.
You can see a beard
Oh.
and the mask.
it could
At
be
least
a
I
he, she.
I don't know. I'm with you, Abs.
I I honestly was puzzled. So,
Pat.
drug boat strike thoughts, you guys?
I mean, if they're
For it?
gonna keep sending boats, we're gonna keep killing them. I don't know. Yeah, like
Okay,
Yeah.
like
you would
you're
think,
doing this to yourself.
you would think they'd have a meeting and go, guys, let's cool it on the boats. Let's things cool down a little bit. But they keep sending them.
They're like, let's go.
What's the definition of insanity? Doing the same thing over and over, expecting a different response.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's the definition.
But that's how you execute as an administration. You say, this is what we're doing, and then you do it. And you don't back down. Unlike, seems like what Tom Homan, what a hoe man.
What a loser.
I mean, maybe I'm missing it. Maybe he's not saying what I think he's saying.
Listen, hold on.
But is he kind of backing up?
Well, I don't know if we want to go into that now.
Oh, sorry.
Well, no, it's good. I just didn't want to go into it unless we had something else we want to talk about this segment.
No, I think we're all on the same page.
Okay, good.
Keep it up. Keep it. We don't want the drugs. Okay,
We don't want their drugs.
We don't want the drugs. That was my best Trump. We don't want them. Do your best Trump.
You keep sending the boats. We're going to kill you.
You have to stop with the boats. No, I can't do it. Wait, do that again. That was good.
You keep sending the boats. We're going to kill you.
You're gonna bust a blood vessel in your head.
I told Maduro, don't mess around. And where is he now?
He's in jail.
He's in a New York prison.
With P. Diddy.
Yeah.
That's
funny.
good. That's good. All right. Checkity check. And how about the Nancy Guthrie situation? Because I do think we need to spend a minute interacting with what Tom Homan said and humane and what?
Wait, do you want to do Nancy or
Nancy?
Tom?
I want to do Nancy before we talk about humane men.
Oh, humane men. That's kind of funny.
Soft touch.
What is that?
Man.
Because I don't know if you guys saw the Somali and what he said about Minneapolis. This bothers me. Nancy Guthrie.
Nancy I can't keep up with you.
No. Pause.
Yeah. Let's do Nancy
Pause.
Guthrie and then go to
Nancy.
Squirrel.
Humane man.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Guthrie.
There was an it at the door in a mask. They, them.
Okay, I got the pictures.
Okay, let me see it. Pull it up.
I got the two specifically that you could see. Look at that's a mustache around.
That is a mustache.
But he has really pretty eyes.
And then this one too, you can see a mustache and goatee.
Are we sure? That looks like a lady.
No.
Those eyes.
The eyes look like a
in the body habitus.
Okay, that I don't see any. But the way they're standing, that's kind of
Hold on.
manly.
Does he have an Adam's apple? Oh, that's a
don't-
mustache.
That's a mustache.
Ew. Okay.
Wouldn't you shave your mustache if you're about to go abduct someone? Wouldn't you want to take off any?
I don't know.
Maybe that's a plan. Maybe you do it afterwards.
I've never been in that position, but I get it.
I mean, and the gloves, those are weird. Those look like, I'm not going to say what kind of gloves they'll.
But what a rookie. Did you watch this video? So it's a ring cam or a Nest cam.
Yeah.
And he goes up and starts like trying to, it looks like wipe off the Nest cam or something. He starts messing with it. And then a few seconds later, he walks back and like picks a bush, like a limb off a bush, and then takes it back to cover up the camera.
Yeah.
To me, that's kind of rookie and amateur.
So
Wouldn't you be prepared?
This was the Nest camera at Nancy Guthrie's house, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, I agree. Rookie move. But my question is, why are we just getting this now?
Exactly.
That's where I'm. So you claim that you got the ransom and the deadline was, what was it, 2 days ago or yesterday, I think?
Mm-hmm.
And Savannah Guthrie says that they're going to pay it. Oh, but now we actually don't know who it is. We actually are still looking. We need the people's help. And then today, oh, hey guys, we actually got the Nest camera. Like, I'm getting confused with the story. Do you know who the ransom, or have you paid the ransom or not? Do you know who you're communicating with or not? So it's almost like, I don't know, I'm getting twisted in pretzels trying to keep up with this story. And why would you just now
put out the one identifying something you have? Because they recorded it last night.
Oh,
that's a
I
way.
mean, I'm stretching it, but I'm like, this thing gets weirder and weirder.
Yeah. I hope everything is okay.
It's not, Ab. So what happened? Like, I think she's long gone.
Oh, I think
by
she's
now.
Gone. I think she was.
She maybe didn't make it out of the house.
I don't know that she made it out of the house.
Maybe they've been communicating with somebody impersonating the person who has her, and somebody's trying to get money out of it, like faking that they have her. I don't know. But it's like, okay, the deadline's tonight. Savannah says on video, we're going to pay it. And then tomorrow, oh, we need the people's help. We don't know who's. Wait, I thought you just said like.
And they didn't pay it.
Right.
Well, I don't understand with Savannah Guthrie's husband's ties to the Clintons, with all the wealth that they have at their disposal, along with resources that the Clintons could offer, because he was in the Clinton White House. You would think that they would offer some kind of help, to call somebody. And no, you know who it was? It was Trump who was trying to send help. So there's that. But this is an odd story. It's going to have probably not a great ending. And I don't understand it at all, because that was such an amateur. Originally, I thought it was kind of more of a crypto. They really wanted money. This is what this is. Classic Dateline. Turns out it's probably some idiot amateur who saw a rich old lady and thought, well, I'm just going to kill her and take her stuff. Because you're an idiot. You're on camera. Surely, though, they can find him after all that. Surely they can.
You would hope.
Where's Elon Musk with all of his technology? I don't know, but it's tragic. In the end, as odd as it's been, it's a tragic story.
Okay, so Ronnie from Athens says, they say once they deposit the money into the crypto to pay the ransom, they cannot trace it from there. So they will have no idea who it actually goes to.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, that's the beauty and the terrible thing about crypto. I mean, it's gone. And I don't even know if you can. So what do you, I mean, that's why criminals would use it.
Right.
But if you aren't in a parking lot staring at Nancy Guthrie, you're kind of stupid to send it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're really stupid.
But if you think it'll get your mom back, don't you send it?
Right. But if you're the person who has it, you send me the money, you don't know who it actually went to, then I'm good. I got my money and I don't have to give her back. And maybe I go, oh, now it's been up. You got to do another one.
Yeah, because if I give your mom back, there's a chance I'll be caught. And
Right,
she'll talk.
exactly.
So like, why? Yeah.
And at least you'll milk it. Like, oh, sorry. Well, you actually got to send another. Oh, one more. Like,
what about they were looking in the septic tank?
Yeah.
Were they looking for her, you think? Or do you think they were looking for
They
a
had like
cell phone?
pokey sticks. They were poking sticks down in it.
And it's gripped our attention. Like, you want to not care about it, but you can't help it. Somebody's mom was taken from her home against her will. That's a terrible story.
yeah, it is.
Have you heard the theories that
Bongino's put forth?
I don't know about that one. I just, on like some of my text threads with my friends, they're saying the brother-in-law did it.
Yeah. So actually somebody texted that in just now.
Yeah. Are there any other details to that?
No, he just said, this is Mike from Florence says it was the ugly sister and brother-in-law. That's what they said.
Ugly sister
Okay,
and
so
brother-in-law.
Mike, what was the motivation? Because that's what I can't figure out. Like, did they just want money? Did something happen? Maybe Mike knows.
Mike, somebody tell us what you
theory,
think.
Mike.
Yeah, because Mike's on the trail and the track that my friends are on. And wait, he said the ugly sister?
Yeah.
The one that's like that's in the background that's always.
I don't want to, but you brought it up.
Okay.
Sorry.
But that's what he said. He said that.
Yeah,
we
Mike
didn't
said
say
that.
that.
The guy that's with them, that's her brother. That's not the brother-in-law. So it's Savannah and her ugly sister and her brother, right?
Or maybe Mike's insinuating that it's the ugly sister and the ugly sister's husband, not the brother in the video.
Right.
Yeah.
No, but that's actually her brother. That's not the.
Yeah. The
Okay.
guy in the videos is her brother,
Okay.
but I think Mike's thinking it's the ugly sister and
Yeah.
her husband.
Well, I just want to know why.
Really?
Mike. So if you know, will you text?
Please.
us? We'll let everybody know.
Mm.
We'll say Mike said it, so we don't get in trouble.
Mike from Florence says, I'm not a criminal, but do have a criminal mind. It's for the money. That's what he said.
Okay.
Always money and power, isn't it?
But I mean, to kill someone, Well, maybe she just strolls on home. Maybe they're like, oh, well, that didn't work. All right, go home.
What if it is?
We'll be over for dinner.
The sister and brother-in-law.
Wait a second. She went to play mahjong into a movie with her
then that
ugly
means
sister.
you should be careful when you go play mahjong.
Is it mahjong?
Dangerous.
Debt? You do play money for mahjong. But in that night she was with Savannah's sister.
Yeah. This is all weird. But we're doing our best to keep up. We know you're keeping up based on what's trending on X. Everybody's paying attention to the story. It's weird.
Mm.
Do you want to go ahead and take a break and talk Homan on the other side?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Oh, man. I liked it. We'll be back. That's funny. You should do it like Marge.
Okay. Hey, my friends. You've heard us talk about Inspire Advisors. How Paul Breyer and his team at Inspire Advisors will help you grow your investment portfolio while also screening out companies that don't match your Christian values.
Paul and his team are experts at what we call biblically responsible investing. And they're offering a free class for a limited time just for you. You're up.
Check out the class and register for free at www.moneypatternwealth.com. It's godly. It's conservative. It's financial freedom.
Again, you go to Inspire Advisors at www.moneywealthpattern.com and check them out and tell them Rightside sent ya. What is that?
We'll do it afterwards.
There are those in the immigrants' rights community who have argued passionately that we should simply provide those who are illegally with legal status, or at least ignore the laws on the books and put an end to deportation until we have better laws. And often this argument is framed in moral terms. Why should we punish people who are just trying to earn a living? I recognize the sense of compassion that drives this argument. But I believe such an indiscriminate approach would be both unwise and unfair. It would suggest to those thinking about coming here illegally that there will be no repercussions for such a decision. And this could lead to a surge in more illegal immigration. And it would also ignore the millions of people around the world who are waiting in line to come here legally. Ultimately, our nation, like all nations, has the right and obligation to control its borders and set laws for residency and citizenship. And no matter how decent they are, no matter their reasons, the 11 million who broke these laws should be held accountable.
What is the bigger threat to America right now, American values, American life? Islamophobia or jihad?
I think we have to focus, quite frankly, on, if we're worried about the threat to American values, on the person who's in the White House.
What an idiot!
Sometimes people come up to me and whisper, does it matter if we don't believe in the virgin birth?
No, it doesn't matter in the UCC for sure. There are some Christians to whom it really matters. But in the UCC, we feel like the most important thing about Jesus is paying attention to how he lived his life. And the details around his birth are things that we can find meaning in, but the meaning might be symbolic.
What?
Hannah Moore believes she and other SNAP recipients should be able to go into the grocery store and buy whatever they like. Soda, candy, prepackaged sweets, prepared desserts, and juice with less than half of natural fruit or vegetable juice in it.
It's not even cool. Like, why they do that? What's the point of food stamps if it's just for real food?
That doesn't make sense.
Dashing through the snow in a one-horse open sleigh. All the fields we go, laughing all the way.
You people, this is golf! A rock concert!
Why are you going home?
I got sent home for suggesting we do a nativity this year. Apparently I'm Islamophobic.
And what's for lunch?
All they sell is curry now, thanks to Labour and the illegals.
We all know the story, right? 1955, Montgomery, Alabama. Rosa Parks, she's this tired seamstress. She refuses to give up her seat to this white guy. Rosa Parks was a calculating revolutionary whose actions were part of this broader left-wing conspiracy, but the myth that we're all taught is designed to hide this and the radicalism that created it so that we're taught, some feel-good narrative when we're in kindergarten.
You look at MLK and Stanley Levison, who was the CFO of the Communist Party of America, who used Martin Luther King. I mean, he wrote part of the I Have a Dream.
Welcome back. I'm Amy Beth. She's Allison. He's JP. So let's discuss Tom Homan, because I'm not sure about Tommy anymore, when he said that he wants to prioritize public safety threats. Think about how much better it would be. I'm paraphrasing. He said that if they rounded up 700,000 people, mainly illegal alien who are criminals, versus just deporting illegals. What is wrong with that sentence?
Well, they're both illegal. They're both criminals. They both are here. Just anything that has the word illegal in front of it is a problem.
Exactly.
But I don't disagree with him. I mean, I prefer you get the rapists and the murderers out first. But what I hear is just a lot of backtracking, kind of like Trump saying, well, we're not going to go into, unless we're asked, we're not going to go into those cities. So, hey, if you come across and you're illegal, just go to Minneapolis because we're not coming back. It's not going to end well. And that's what bothers me is the soft touch talk.
Agree.
The soft touch talk. I just made something up.
That was good. Well, we made up Tom Ho, Humane Man.
No, Allison said Tom Homan, and then
well, she said
Homan.
Homan, but the soft touch talk.
Yeah,
I'm not for
weird.
that.
And here's the thing: it's kind of like Pam Bondi, and now it's Tom Homan, and it's Kash Patel. The problem is, where does all this lead back to?
Somebody at the White House who's saying, y'all need to chill if you want to win at the midterms.
Okay, but say who that is. And
Susie Wiles.
No.
There's another one.
President Trump.
Oh, well, I mean,
yeah. And like at some point, you only get so many passes. You're watching. He watches everything that happens on X. He watches everything that happens on the news. So at this point, like the first time things start rolling out, maybe you don't know exactly the talking points they're putting out. But now I don't think there's an excuse. I don't think you can even say, have ignorance as a defense because you're the president of the United States. You're supposed to be managing these things.
Right.
So is this coming from President Trump? I mean, at some point you got to go.
Yeah. The Homan comment was a big but it was like, because it's a change of messaging, and it originated from the disaster in Minnesota in terms of the protesters getting killed, and they didn't like how it looked. So the change of messaging is, okay, we're going after the illegals. It was, we're going to have mass deportations, but we're going to go after the criminal illegal aliens first. So the messaging has shifted from, if you're here illegally, you're gone, to, well, We'll go after the criminal illegal aliens, and those will be priorities. Mass deportations are coming, but let's go after the child rapists and which on paper you're like, okay, but it's the change of messaging. It shifted from, the criminal illegal aliens and all illegal aliens to, well, we're going to go after the child rapists, the bad guys, because that looks better optics wise after Preddy and Renee Good got killed in Minnesota. So it is a backtrack, and it is a but. And I do think President Trump, with his softer touch message in his interview, I mean, at the very least, he's not, even if it didn't come from President Trump alone, I think he's one of the ones that is, wanting this change of messaging.
And here's the problem, because it does. I mean, in ultimate authority, it's his job. I argue then, if this is what they think they should do, they will lose even bigger in the midterms because they went soft and backtracked on a promise versus listening to what seems like the big Eva wing of the party going, you just need to be nice and kind and let these people, just only let the illegals go. And the ones who committed crimes. But you're like, define terms. Do you mean like the rapists or murderers? Or do you mean the illegals in general? Because illegal equals like not legal. So they're all illegal. What do you mean? I know they're talking about criminals, but even that, it's just murky. So quit listening to the big evil wing and being sweet and soft and nice, because kind is being truthful. And you guys are going to lose the midterms with this latest pivot. It's wrong. Also, I don't know if you guys saw on Wall Street Apes, this was sometime yesterday, a meeting took place at a restaurant in Minneapolis where Somali immigrants declared that a part of Minnesota has been claimed for the government of Somalia. The man is a member of the Somalia state in the region of Galmudug. It is the definition of an insurrection. So President Trump, team, please explain that to us like we're five.
Big Eva, is that evangelical?
Big evangelical, the ones like Phil Vischer, the ones like John Piper, the ones that tell us that we need to be soft and nice and kind, the ones who invited very liberal Soros-led groups like Open Table and other organizations straight to the church through curriculum, through support. They ushered it all in. Somehow these people have gotten to him because they are very influential. Russell Moore, they're very influential. My gut is they're somehow in this. It's not right.
I had something really deep to say and I forgot it.
Write it down.
It was
good, wasn't it?
It was really good. It's gone. I might have it on the other side. We'll be back.
JP here with Rightside. I need to remind you that Inspire Advisors is one of our sponsors, and they are doing amazing work. We know this audience, and you're the kind of folks who believe in standing up for your principles and being good stewards of your resources. What if the companies you're invested in don't reflect your values at all? That's why you need to meet Paul Breyer and his team at Inspire Advisors. Inspire Advisors, they are experts in the field of biblically responsible investing. They can help you grow your bottom line while also being proud of what companies you invest in. Inspire Advisors, you got to go check them out. Here's their website, www.moneypatternwealth.com, and tell them you heard about it on Rightside Radio. And he kind of saw MLK as a tool or puppet. Why is there a communist tie-in into all of it? It's just strange to me. It's almost like just like today, like there needed to be a fighting and a racial war almost for them to try to implement what they wanted to implement. So it's strange.
It is my observation that the communists were using the civil rights movement as one more attempt to control the population, because it is their belief that communism can't succeed without first socialism succeeding. And so I think that their point was revolution.
What's different about Minneapolis versus the civil rights movement is that the civil rights movement needed to happen. I don't know if it needed to happen that way. Don't remember communism coming out of it or socialism. But is that the end result of what happened?
I think the end result, if you take communism by its definition of seizing the means of production, what they ended up seizing were our classrooms and our textbooks and being able to tell a narrative that has spun in their favor.
That's good, Abs.
That's good. It's coffee.
Still thinking.
You know, that is getting unwound, and it's time, because there's so much we know that's not true, not just about this, but about many other things. But I think that was what they were able to do. And so now they're reproducing other agitators in other areas of our society.
You're so smart.
We shall discuss Jeffrey Epstein, starting with Kash Patel saying there was no evidence of any children being abused. Essentially, this is what he says. We have been lied to. That is my big takeaway.
I do want to add the Deputy Attorney General Blanche. He not only said physical abuse, but he said death, physical abuse, and injury, which means what?
There was death, physical abuse, and injury.
But you put out something like this in regards to Jeffrey Epstein, and they're talking about this, my ears perk up, and I'm like, maybe Jen Caviezel wasn't absolutely crazy. It's all kind of starting to come together. And then all the stuff, does anybody have the Pizzagate stuff? Everybody thought those people were nuts too. And I think Pizzagate, if you read through these texts, emails, is real.
For too long, not all the pastors, but some of our pastors told us that Christians shouldn't be involved in politics. This is what happens when you abdicate the responsibility for being a civil magistrate, our God-given duty. This crap is what happens when we go, yep, y'all do it. We're just going to hang on till Jesus comes back. This is why it matters that we are involved in politics right here.
The mountain of circumstantial evidence in these files is amazing, to say the least. Bongino made his big return to his podcast today, and his whole, these people are talking about Epstein and the files. They don't even know. They didn't see what I saw. They don't even know what they're talking about. And there's these doomers and these black pillars. And then you see these emails released. It's like, hey, knucklehead, I can see pictures of Prince Andrew over a girl. I can see emails of Epstein talking to people about underage girls. I can see Epstein talking to all these people. All I'm saying is that shouldn't be the end of it. Okay. So if you're going to say, well, you don't know what I know. Well, I saw the files that I'm sure you saw. And if you're saying that's not worth another investigation and we just need to move on, then I don't even know what to say to that.
Have y'all ever heard the term cute aggression? I have never heard this term, but it's a legit thing. It's a normal emotional reaction where someone feels a sudden urge to squeeze, pinch, or say exaggerated things like, I could just eat you up, when they see something extremely cute, such as a baby, a puppy, or a kitten. Even though the word aggression is in the name, it doesn't mean you want to hurt them. But psychologists think cute aggression is your brain's way of balancing overwhelmingly positive emotions. When you feel something is too adorable, your emotional response spikes so high that the brain adds a tiny counter feeling, aggression-like energy, to regulate it.
That makes sense.
I had no clue, but think about that. Like your aunt is like, oh, you're just so cute. Or you see a baby and you're like, I just want to eat you up.
Yes.
I didn't know that was an actual thing. Didn't know that 3 Alabama congressmen voted this week to fund child mutilation, DEI initiatives, and abortions paid for by your tax money. Robert Adderholt, Mike Rogers, and Dale Strong of Alabama all voted against Amendment number 2, which would remove these initiatives from H.R. 7148. It was brought by Ralph Norman of South Carolina, who is actually one of my favorite congressmen. He said, hey, let's pass the bill, but can we just take these things out? And those 3 from Alabama voted to keep your tax dollars paying for those things. I don't know about y'all, but there's lines in the sand for me. If you're going to call yourself a conservative, if you're going to call yourself a Republican, those are lines you don't cross. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if they're compromised. I don't know if they like child mutilation, but it is unacceptable that these 3 voted for this. You need to call their offices and let them know how you feel. If you live in their district, need to reverse course here because this isn't looking good.
What if everything we think we know is wrong? Hey y'all, it's Abs with Rightside. And during this Black History Month, perhaps you've heard me talk about Welcome back to Rightside Radio. I'm Amy Beth Shaver with Allison Sinclair and JP, where you never know, what's around the corner. But what's around the corner for us at 4:00 is the 3.
Surprises me every time. I love it.
Man, that's good. That's good.
Tres at Quattro.
See, it is stories we've held on to that each of us would like to share. At 4:30, we're going to be visited by Jared Hudson, and then we're going to make Jared play some sort of exit question of the day with us. We don't know what that's going to be.
Uh-oh.
Well, we're going to ask him some lightning round questions, all of us, because we haven't answered the lightning round questions that we use on our podcast.
Okay, and then what was
I've
the
got
other
'em.
question we were? Oh, how do you want to
Ancient
settle-
methods of
Yeah, let me
of-
write that down.
I got you.
You write it too.
Look,
How do you want to settle disputes? In which public execution?
He'll probably just say, "I will just go back at the back of the barn and like we did in high school and fight it." He said that on the podcast with Phil.
We'll fight it
They had
out.
a fight club in high school, apparently. Jared said.
oh, bless.
Of course.
Okay, sure they did. So,
Gardendale.
is your story riveting?
It's crazy.
Okay, tell us your crazy story.
This is from the Daily Mail. Kurt Cobain's death was a homicide as new private forensic findings question the suicide ruling.
What?
Did Courtney kill him?
So I'm just going to read a bit of this article.
Who's Kurt Cobain for people who don't know?
Kurt Cobain is the lead singer of Nirvana, or was the lead singer of Nirvana.
Okay, smells like Teen Spirit.
And he died in 1994 at 27 years old, but from a self-inflicted gunshot or shotgun wound. That's been the story.
How do you shoot yourself with a shotgun? Go ahead.
It says, okay, I'm just reading from the article. At the time, the King County medical examiner ruled his death a suicide by a shotgun. Now, an unofficial private sector team of forensic scientists have put fresh eyes on Cobain's autopsy and crime scene materials, bringing in Brian Burnett, a specialist who previously worked on cases involving overdoses followed by gunshot trauma. Independent researcher Michelle Wilkins, who worked with the team, told Daily Mail that after just 3 days looking into the evidence with fresh eyes, Burnett said, quote, "This is a homicide and we've got to do something about this." She said the conclusion followed an exhaustive review of the autopsy findings, which revealed signs inconsistent with an instantaneous gunshot death.
That's shocking.
How many years later is this?
So what would that? It was in 1994, so 22 years. No, 32 years later.
Man.
And we're just now figuring these things out?
So my question is, do you trust the unofficial private sector forensic scientists, or do you trust the official story? At the very least, it's kind of crazy that there'd even be any evidence that would go against, like, who would kill Kurt Cobain?
That's really odd.
Courtney.
See, I'm not privy into like the drama. I just know who he is and the story, but I don't know like the.
Was there drama between the two of them?
Yeah. I'm just kidding. I think she really loved him, but I think she was a little crazy. And I think she had moments of being a little extra crazy. I wouldn't be surprised. But I don't remember him having enemies. I don't remember him. He just was a really good musician. He lived his life.
They did lots of drugs, right?
They did lots of drugs. But they had a baby, and I feel like he loved his child.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. I had always heard that, but never heard that there was maybe evidence that it was actually true. But I don't know who else would want to take him out.
Right. I don't know.
Almost like a murder of passion.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I love you so much, I'm going to kill you.
So
add drugs to the mix.
I'll just do one more quote. It's a little bit more in detail. Quote, there are things in the autopsy that go, well, wait, this person didn't die very quickly of a gunshot blast, Wilkins said, pointing to organ damage associated with oxygen deprivation. The necrosis of the brain and liver happens in an overdose. It doesn't happen in a shotgun death.
This is odd.
Wait, so maybe he OD'd and then somebody came in and shot him?
Or somebody just shot him and he didn't die immediately, which would not be the case with a self-inflicted gunshot wound. But he got shot. So the question is, why would you have the signs of like the necrosis of the brain and liver, and like you wouldn't get that if it was a gunshot wound, like a self-inflicted gunshot wound. So it is weird. I don't know what to make of it. Stay tuned. But at the very least, I saw that story and was like, So,
man,
that's something.
So good.
That's shocking. That was the only song of his I knew.
Oh, the whole album was so good. I never understood the floating naked baby.
Yeah, me neither.
On the album cover, but it was good. That's back in the day when we wore like cut off khaki shorts and then a t-shirt and an oversized flannel and hiking boots.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. It was the fit.
Maybe with a ribbon in our hair just to throw everybody off. Okay, so I have an update to the Public Service Commission. It's turned into, I don't know if you follow along, if anybody cares about Montgomery, but it has turned into a whole thing. There was no talk. I didn't hear any talk before session started of right now the public votes on the Public Service Commission for I think there are 3 places. Place 1, place 2, place 3. All of a sudden, out of nowhere in Montgomery comes this bill that was filed that would move it from an elected position to an appointed position. And the appointment would come from the governor, lieutenant governor, and the speaker of the House. And they would choose the public service commissioners. It has turned into a litmus test because Montgomery apparently is for it, but the people are not. And so actually Arnold Mooney, Susan DuBose, who are typically very conservative votes, and 2 other reps put out an op-ed in 1819 News talking about why this change was needed, why the legislature should have regulatory control over the Public Service Commission. Representative Mac Butler put out kind of a poll like we do when we say text in, but he put it out on Facebook and he was like, look, they are fastly, is that a word?
Yeah.
Yes.
They are fastly moving this bill through. It got out of committee 2 hours ago. And for some reason, all of a sudden, they are fast tracking this bill. Now, we can't get porn out of libraries.
No.
But we can fast track it when your legislature wants more control over your choices. And so Mac Butler puts out on Facebook, like, people talk to me, like, tell me what you're thinking, because this is about to get passed. My understanding was it was going to go to the floor for a vote this week. 95, like at last I checked, there were 391 comments. 95% of them on his post were saying, no, keep the vote with the people, keep the vote with the people. Now, apparently, they are not going to take a vote this week on the House floor. But y'all need to follow along with this, because anytime things like this happen, I get really suspicious about who's pushing it. And I don't know who's behind it. I don't know why. I guess I could be convinced that it's a good idea. But you'd have to convince me, because as a conservative, I think the further away you take the vote from the people, that's just worser and worser. My English today. But I want to know why all of a sudden this came up. And maybe we're missing something that the public doesn't know about.
Yeah.
But it's weird and it is getting very heated. But I will say Montgomery is listening. Obviously, there's enough pushback that they're putting the brakes on this. So keep it up. I just think let's slow the roll. Let's talk about it. Because once you do this, it's very hard to go back.
I don't know. I think I said this maybe yesterday when we talked about it, but however much corruption is on the Public Service Commission, I feel like the legislature's handpicking who it is way more corrupt than that even could be. And it's weird because initially in my head, it seemed like this is a pro-Montgomery thing, but true conservative Alabamians are against it. But then, like, when Susan DeBose and others come out and support it, then you're like, okay, is there something we don't know? Maybe we can be convinced, like you said. But ultimately, Ernie Yarborough is pretty spot on. And if he's against it, then I think that's really so. I don't know. It is weird seeing who's on each side of it. But I think legislators handpicking it will be way more corrupt than it currently is. I could be wrong, but that's how I see it.
All right. Chip Brown, Brock Colvin, Susan DeBose, and Arnold Mooney were the ones that put out this op-ed. Abs, what do you think about it?
I think we should be able to vote on it. And I think the legislature, our legislators proved their,
vulnerability.
Their vulnerability. I don't know.
Manipulative ability.
Okay. Manipulative ability to get done what they want to get done when they want to get it done.
Oh, I see where you're going.
And so suddenly we got to move, guys, get snappy. But we want things done. Well, it's going to take time. We got to build a coalition. We got to see how many votes we have. I mean, we don't even know if we can get it out of committee. And so who knows? And this?
Well, nothing happens in Montgomery without the blessing of the Speaker of the House, Nathaniel Ledbetter. Nothing happens without the blessing of Joe Lovern, who sits as the head of the Rules Committee. Nothing happens. David Faulkner is the vice chair of the Rules Committee. Scott Stodhagen is my majority leader. So Montgomery is very leadership heavy, and obviously leadership. And I'm not going to speak for all of them because I don't know actually who is behind this and who's supporting this and who's not. But I will just say, if the upper echelons were not for this, this would not be happening.
So we'll stay tuned.
Abs, do you want to do yours on the other side? Because you don't have a lot of time. I think.
Yes, this is. Yeah.
Yeah, let's take a break and get Abs on the other side.
And we'll get Abs. Okay, we'll be back.
On the show, but I'm on a quest to find out what's true. Because if we've interacted with what isn't true, then we have to stop and ask why. What we think matters because it affects the way we behave. And if we've been told things that aren't true by people who have nefarious intentions so that they can capture us and get us to do what they want, rather than us living freely, not as victims, not in need of perpetual handouts, wouldn't that change everything? Wouldn't that set us free? Here's my first recommendation. Chad O. Jackson he's got several documentaries. One is Uncle Tom 1 and 2. Start there. Or check out Chad O. Jackson in History Revelata. I've started the MLK series only on episode 1 and my mind is blown. Consider Vince Everett Ellison, who's written among other books, The Iron Triangle. It will blow your mind. Or Daryl Harrison and Virgil Walker with Just Thinking. They have several episodes on Black history, BLM, etc. I want to know the truth because the truth matters. I'll see you soon.
Am I the only one that's sick and tired of a bunch of yeah buts from our Republicans in Congress? Yeah, we voted to keep gender mutilation and abortions and DI initiatives all paid for by your taxpayer dollars in the resolution to continue funding the government. But it included, some other stuff that it's really complicated and nuanced and you wouldn't understand. Or how about, we voted to keep funding $5 billion to refugee welfare in this resolution to keep funding the government as well. But it's actually not adding any new immigration and it's upholding current law and President Trump wanted us to pass it. It's all pathetic and insane. If you're a Republican in Congress and you are voting for this crap and you lash out on your constituents that are calling it out, then The problem is not us. The problem is you. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go look up Amendment number 2 to H.R. 7148, which was an amendment to withdraw gender mutilation, abortions, and DEI initiatives from this resolution to continue funding the government. And members of our own Alabama delegation, including Dale Strong, Robert Adderholt, and Mike Rogers, all voted against it and had a bunch of yeah buts in response to that, of course. And then also go look up the $5 billion in refugee welfare that passed the House to be included in the resolution to continue funding the government, which every single member of Alabama's House voted for this. That's right. All members of our Alabama delegation in the House voted to continue funding it. Props to Tuberville and Katie Britt in the Senate, though, that voted against it. But when you call out this stuff to representatives, in our Alabama delegation, and their response is to lash out and become petty because they're simply calling this stuff out, I'm sorry. The problem is you. And I don't know, maybe you're not cut out for politics because the yeah buts, we're sick and tired of them. And all you're saying with your yeah buts is that this thing means more important than stopping funding to refugee welfare to the tune of $5 billion of your taxpayer dollars. Just saying. The Democrats, when they're in power, don't have a bunch of yeah buts. They just get stuff done for their side and destroy America. Meanwhile, when Republicans try to save America, it's just a bunch of yeah buts to continue funding the crap that Democrats want to fund. And you know what? We're sick and tired of it.
In case you missed it, Alabama, all 5 of your Republican congressmen voted last week to continue funding refugee welfare. Yes, to the tune of $5 billion. Barry Moore, Gary Palmer, Dale Strong, Robert Adderholt, and Mike Rogers, Republicans, all voted to give $5 billion in your tax dollars to refugees in America. I don't get it. With all that's going on in Minnesota, how in the world can a conservative continue to give into programs that are obviously fraudulent and being used against America? To me, this borderlines on treason, and I'm not trying to be dramatic, but we are not representing American people anymore. When we're $39 trillion in debt and we're giving billions still to people that aren't even American citizens. And here's the worst part. Probably your congressman, if you call and ask why they voted for House Resolution 7006, they're going to say, well, there were some really good things in there for America. We had to vote for it to continue this program. Well, that's like me coming up to you and right before I punch you in the face saying, you're really pretty and really nice. It does.
Welcome back to Rightside Radio. I am Amy Beth Shaver with Allison Sinclair and JP.
Put your glasses on.
I got to put my glasses on.
Can you see?
I can see. This is something we haven't talked about. I know you're like, Epstein, really? Except this is our maybe every so often plug for our young women to beware, whether they're in high school or college or young adult women, for people who would lure them into trafficking because it can happen anywhere. Because here's the part that we haven't talked about at all with Epstein. It's that this started back in 2005.
What started?
Epstein. The whole Epstein situation started back in 2005. Lest we think, oh, that can never happen here. How much are we hearing now about sex trafficking, human trafficking, the movie that our friend Allie from Athens, we talked about, Beyond Hope, right? But I came across this story and I thought, we don't know how this started, how the Jeffrey Epstein saga started. I didn't know how it started.
It's a really good point.
But in early 2005, 2 girls at Royal Palm Beach High School got into a fight. This is from the Joe Rogan show. One of the girls repeatedly called the other girl a prostitute or a hooker. After the fight, school administrators and parents investigated, searched one of the girls' purses, and found $300 in cash. The female student initially claimed the money came from working at a fast food restaurant, but it was later revealed that she had been paid for massages by a wealthy man later identified as Jeffrey Epstein. That revelation prompted a police investigation in March of 2005 when the stepmother of one of the girls reported the molestation to the Palm Beach police. The case ultimately resulted in Jeffrey Epstein's first address in 2006. Royal Palm Beach High School was identified as a focal point for recruitment, where, according to investigators, at least 15 students were lured into Epstein's Palm Beach home. That's how this whole mess started. And, you know, we've heard over the years for our girls to beware and to be careful. And you probably have talked to your girls about it. Like, be aware of who you go on dates with. Be aware of if you're out in public and somebody tries to put something in your drink, of course, after you're 21, obviously. But we joke about it. But do you think those girls ever thought that they would be the tip of the iceberg for this whole sordid situation? High school girls who want money and attention and affection. And maybe they're getting it, maybe they're not. Everybody wants love and to be loved. And if a high school girl believes somebody's going to give her some kind of attention and she doesn't have it at all, she is drawn to it like moth to flame. But imagine that's where this whole thing started, was at Royal Palm Beach High School in Florida.
Yeah, I guess I had heard that, but I had forgotten. And that is, I mean, think about high school girls and they go, oh my gosh, yeah, there's this rich guy that has this huge house on the water. It's awesome. And you go in and you just give him a massage for like an hour and you get $300. I mean, what high school girl, I mean, unless they're super rich, but even then they're like, yeah, $300 for an hour. Come on, it's great. You know, and I bet in the beginning, that's all it was.
Yep.
And, you know, then before you know it, you've got 15 girls that are rotating in and out of that house. Ghislaine Maxwell was involved at that point, wasn't she?
Yes.
Okay, so she knows it all.
And think about this. This is around the time Trump met them all. This is then. And he was the one that ratted it out and said, pay a special attention to Ghislaine Maxwell.
Did he have Mar-a-Lago then?
I don't know that he did.
I think so, because wasn't the story that he was hanging out at Mar-a-Lago trying to poach some of Trump's girls,
That's right.
like
And
waitresses?
It could have been in
That's
2009.
right.
And he was like, dude, get out, because he knew what he was doing.
But it's in this time frame from 2005 to perhaps 2009. But I think it was earlier than that Trump met.
I think it was
watched,
2006.
And said that this guy is a rat. She's gross too. Pay attention.
He called her evil.
So it can look, it feels far away, but it's not far away. Think about the well house that we have here in town. Think about the movie that's just come out. This is not uncommon.
Well, I don't know if you did that on purpose, but what a great segue into our next guest, Jared Hudson, who is running for Senate, but he also runs Covenant Rescue Group. So that'd be a really good discussion to have. Like, how common is this? Because we think it happens in Epstein Island land.
Yeah, and that's it. That's the only
here
place.
in Shelby County. And all of our kids, especially in this age of technology, are so vulnerable. I mean, I've heard some of the stories of some of the operations they've run, and I mean, just the people that are out there preying all the time on our kids. Very scary. So we're going to take a break. We'll be back with Jared Hudson on the other side. Like, at some point, we have to stop giving money to the people that hate us, to the things that are going to destroy this country. And why these five, the three of them I get, but Barry Moore and Gary Palmer, I'm so confused. I have no clue why they wouldn't stand up, because 24 Republicans voted against this bill. Why didn't they? It's not like they'd be the only ones. And even if you are the only one, do the right thing.
And it is a big deal because one of the most popular podcasters in the world, Sean Ryan, was told to stop talking about this story.
Last week, I received a demand letter from lawyers representing Kanakuk Ministries, a Christian summer camp in Missouri. They're threatening to sue me for defamation because of something I said on my podcast with Congressman Ro Khanna.
which smacks of arrogance and more abuse. Because there are plenty of people who've come forward to talk about it. I was looking, so these camps, there's a lot of people that have been at these camps, Allison Sinclair, like a lot. 500,000 over the years.
Are you talking about
in general, like over
outside
all
of
these
Kanakuk,
years?
or you mean Kanakuk camps?
Kanakuk camps,
Okay.
since 1926, has hosted more than 500,000 campers and 50,000 staffers in Missouri and its many international locations. These stories that we heard about happened in Missouri.
It's in Branson, right?
And yes, in Branson, Missouri. And it's a sports camp. Like it's a fun evangelical sports themed camp. Is that fair to say?
I don't know that.
Well, ish.
It's just where all the cool kids go.
Yeah. Well, Peter Newman, who was one of the camp's directors, years ago pleaded guilty to sexually abusing 6 boys. But since then, the camp has touted itself as a leader in child safety, holding seminars, etc. Except interviews with dozens of victims and former camp employees reported that they didn't seek justice for the victims. They prioritized ministering to those accused of wrongdoing.
Hey, Lindsay, why don't you just admit that you're gay and then people won't blackmail you anymore?
Start shooting. Just start shooting. Honestly, at this point, you don't have anything to lose because they're already going to shoot you for doing nothing. Start shooting back. I don't know.
Stop it. Get some help.
Abortion is an act of love.
Abortion is an act of love.
Abortion is an act of love.
When I first heard the slogan that abortion is an act of love, I retracted just a little. And then I started thinking about my sister's story, and I started thinking about individual case stories and saving lives and saving futures. That abortion can be the most loving act that we can have.
I beg your pardon? Is it the position of the ACLU that people should have to be U.S. citizens in order to vote in Arizona's elections?
It is the ACLU's position that voting should be fair and accessible and to everyone who is eligible.
That would be a U.S. citizen, yeah.
That doesn't make sense.
Donald J. Trump calling Thomas Massey a moron at the National Prayer Breakfast. That's the thing. It was this morning.
Now, no matter what we do, this moron, no matter what it is, we could put them all together. I think, Mike, what would you say the top 5 things? Name them. We'll put them in one bill, and we'll put them before we'll get 100% vote, except for this guy named Thomas Massey. There's something wrong with him.
Why we got to be like that?
Yeah.
I guess because I thought Massey did the right thing. We were calling all of Congress out yesterday for allowing, what was it, $1.3 trillion to go to scholarships for higher education for underprivileged kids in Egypt. And that's what Trump is saying. Massey's a terrible person. Massey went through, he voted, or he put an amendment out to make it so the government can't put a kill switch on your car. Congress voted it down. The Republican majority voted it down. So why is he an idiot? And even if
well, he said moron.
I'm sorry. Is there a difference?
Probably technically, but I don't know.
Hey,
I'm just
Siri.
making fun.
Welcome back to Rightside Radio. I'm Amy Beth Shaver with Allison Sinclair and JP, and a friend of the show, Jared Hudson, who is running for Senate. We have so many questions for you today, just based on your job, because you do put in a full day and campaign, which must be delightful.
Yeah, I mean, it's not hard. I've done hard things. It's not hard. Everybody else says it's hard. It's time consuming.
Just exhausting, maybe.
It's just time consuming.
Yeah.
Like I was reading the story to my girls the other night, and my oldest said, "Daddy, will you lay down here in bed beside me until I go to sleep?" And I said, yeah, I'll lay down beside you. Now, I ain't take a shower, I ain't brush my teeth, I didn't do anything. I thought, I don't need to close my eyes, stay awake for a little bit. And I was like, I can stay awake. Next thing you know, I'm waking up at 4 a.m. in her bed beside her. Back's killing me and everything. The other two, my daughters all sleep. They have their own beds, but they all like to sleep in bed with each other. But
So
the other
sweet.
two slept in one little bed and across the room from us. And me and Everly, we slept in her bed, and I was not intending on falling asleep. So I will say that I am tired more so than I've been in a while.
Yeah.
It's a statewide race is no joke.
Oh yeah, we're going all over the place.
Is it going well?
Oh, it's going great. I mean, I can go ahead and tell you this: the Lord gets all the glory for any success we've had. We got a great team that's working hard and everything. But for somebody like me, who's not in politics, who's not played the political game or anything, to have the success that we've had, the only thing that I can attribute it to is God. And obviously hard work. You can't just sit here and say, "Okay, Lord, please bless us," and just sit and wait. No, He says you're going to earn your right to eat. You're going to earn your food by the sweat of your brow. That's what He told Adam when He cast him out of the garden, right? When you're going to toil for your food. And so we have to toil for it. I mean, there is work, but God has blessed us tremendously.
That's so good to hear.
I'm so curious what your most surprising thing about campaigning is.
The politicos. I mean, I hate politics. I mean, I've been blown away at how, nobody in this business, even politicians that we like, nobody in this business truly stand in the gap for the people they're elected to represent. Whatever we believe to be true, I have learned that it is not true in this. They'll use veterans and service members and law enforcement for cannon fodder. They'll use regular people. Affordability is a big issue across Alabama. They'll use that as cannon fodder. And then on the other side of it, they expect me to use it as cannon fodder. And I'm sitting here like, I don't want to do that. I've got real dead buddies that I can list off and name that gave their life for this country, not a certain political cause or whatever. Most of these jokers ride the coattails of other people. They stand on the shoulders of giants and they claim that they're flying. And that's the thing that bothers me the most. And the last piece of it is, you're supposed to be willing to, if you're a servant, right? In my case, I'm running for senator. It's a servant. As a servant of the people, as a voice or a mouthpiece for the people, or even, that's probably even a bad word to use, probably a representative of the people. It's even more than a mouthpiece, right? You're not always going to, everybody wants, oh, I need them to like me and them to like me. No, guess what? You're not always going to like me. All I can do is what's just and what's right. That's what a legislator is supposed to do. What's just and what's right on behalf of the people they're elected to represent. In my case, the people of Alabama. And the hard thing is when you step into that servant role, you're supposed to be willing to even die for the people. These jokers won't even give up their golf game, and or whatever it is that they do, and that's hard because I know men and women who gave their last breath so you could take your next. And as a representative, that's what I'm supposed to do. But yet we don't even have choices of representatives who are willing to do that. And that's probably that is the most astonishing thing to me across the board is that, and these career politicians. I mean, I hate to say that I'm an outsider. I'm an outsider from the politics world, and it shouldn't be that way. We as citizens should one, be in the know, but two, have the ability to get involved more so than the system would allow you to be involved.
Do you think that they're up there, these career politicians, and just feel entitled to what they have for as long as they want it? Or, I mean,
that's a good question. I don't know. I would say, I mean, I don't want to cast disparagements against any individual person. I'm just telling
maybe
you
it's a group.
Yeah, I'm telling you the system as a whole.
Yeah.
So as individuals, I don't necessarily know what their heart is, but I would say that, yeah, there probably is a little bit of that because once somebody gets in, it is so hard to get them out, because you've got, everybody thinks that they're paying them off, they're making all this money, and that might be some of it, but no, that people are just buying access. They're buying access to the spot. And you as the voter, who should be the one who's being represented in, my case, the state of Alabama, should be represented. You as the voter should have access to me or access to my team. Now you got 5 million people that'll be reaching out and want something. I can't talk to all 5 million people, right? That's it. It winds up being an unbelievably difficult task. So you have teams in place that go out and deal with constituents and provide constituent services and make sure that everything is kosher across the state, wherever it is, whatever it is you're dealing with, whether it's infrastructure or whether it's, a decrease in inflation and helping with the affordability issue. But now, because of the way the system is, I feel like a lot of these individuals are so far removed from regular everyday people that whatever they talk about is just a talking point on a piece of paper. They've never actually put hands on anybody in an ICE crackdown who's showing up to buy a 14-year-old girl and is an illegal immigrant and actually had to detain them and put them on an ICE hold to deport them back somewhere. But buddy, they'll talk about it all day long, and they'll use that to run on. I support ICE. They never even hooked anybody up. They'll talk about service members and want to tout the fact that they're there for the servicemen and women, but then when it's actually time to do something, they won't do anything because it's not time to get elected. They've never been overseas and shot anybody or stood beside somebody who got killed, serving the country, not serving a political purpose. And then the final thing is they don't live on a budget like me. I can tell you, me and my wife do. I mean, we live on a budget. Groceries is huge. Like you go to the grocery store and you come out, it's like, what in the world do we get for $400? That's something I go around and talk about. And people all across Alabama are like, yeah, we get that. I don't think a lot of them actually get that or understand that when they've been in the system that long, which is why I think term limits are important. I think term limits are unbelievably important. What would that look like? Just across the board, I think every state has to have it, but you got term limits for Senate should be, let's say 12 years. That'd be 2 terms. 12 years would be 2 terms. You can do the same thing in the House, right? 12 years would be 6 terms. You could do the same thing across the board, grandfather some people in so they would actually vote for it and start changing things in a positive way for our kids so that hopefully one day when my little girls are voting, they're not going up against a system that has, congressmen that's in there for, even 5, 6, 7, 8 terms. Like you have the ability to reset the system. Because it's the same thing with, look at our president, they can only run for 2 terms.
Yes.
They can only do 2 terms and then they're out. The power of the executive branch is limited. Anyway, that's just what I've learned is the system does need a reset, but not a reset like we always think about. The reset needs to be making sure the people that you're supposed to represent are actually represented, and not every PAC that comes in and writes you a check, or not every member of the bureaucracy who wants to help keep you elected so they can keep the things going that they want, as opposed to the people that you're supposed to be representing, in our case, from the state of Alabama.
And that probably, thinking through what you're saying, it probably also puts people in the passenger seat because they think, well, there's nothing we can do anyway. People are there for so long. I can't affect what's going on. I'm going to check out. I'm going to let them do what they want. And here we are.
Well, it does.
It's just had that unintended consequence for us for a very long time.
And that is exactly right. And that is where we're at. We're in the passenger seat, and we believe that our senators, our governors, our president, our congressmen and women that we believe that they're the leaders of this nation, right? That's what they're not. We, the people, are the leaders. They're the mouthpiece. They're the representative of the people. They're the representative of the king of the nation. The kings and queens of this nation are us, we the people. And our vote is unbelievably important. And what do? They grandstand and they get your vote because they'll talk a lot. But when it comes time to actually do something, when it comes time to actually put irons to the fire, when it comes time to actually give them the lumber, what do? They don't do it. They don't deliver. And then some of that, now that's not all disparaging towards the politician, because sometimes it's the system that doesn't allow them to deliver, right? We live in a system that should create gridlock between the 3 branches of government. Yes. So I'm not saying that that's necessarily a bad thing either. But what I am saying is when we have elected individuals who care about themselves, they're self-serving, and they use the people to serve themselves, and then they use the position to serve themselves, I think that's why we find ourselves in the mess we're in now. That's the only reason I'm running.
Yeah.
Because I enjoy what I do, and I'm really good at what I do. And I would much rather physically snatch bad guys than go sit behind a desk and sit in committees and all of that, right? But I see the benefit of that position for the people of the state of Alabama, not for Jared Hudson, but for my kids, for my grandkids, and for y'all's kids and grandkids, and for the people of Alabama. And how can we elevate Alabama while Alabama elevates the nation? I mean, the United States of America is the arsenal of democracy and freedom around the world. That's why we have people literally beating down our doors. They're trying to get into our country. because of who we are. I believe that Alabama is the arsenal of the United States of America. And as a representative from Alabama, I want to go and make sure every bit of public and private investment comes back to us. All of the public investment we can get so that private investment wants to come in and we continue being the number one producers of vehicles, right? Exporter of vehicles, or number 5 shipbuilding in Austin and South Alabama. Look at Rocket City. We got rocket scientists in North Alabama. Everybody thinks we're just dumb rednecks from the South. No, we bring an unbelievable amount to the table, but making sure that we bring our investment, our tax dollars back here and spend them here on our roads, on our bridges, on our broadband, on our port, making sure it gets spent here and not spent at, some Minnesota Leering Center or, where it's been fraudulently used and abused. Right. That is what you elect a representative, and you don't represent them to go and howl at the moon. That's the other thing. Now, that's one of the other sides of both. It doesn't matter if you're conservative or to the left. They howl at the moon a lot, right? We go up there and we scream to the top of our lungs, oh, we can't do this, right? And then nothing winds up happening. Don't just draw a line in the sand just to draw a line in the sand. Draw a line in the sand because it means something, then actually deliver. That's kind of my heart. Sorry to get into the political stuff. I know we took up the first part.
I think that's great. We'll go ahead and go to a break now, and then we'll have a good chunk of time on the other side to get to Epstein and some of the other things.
We got questions.
Yep.
All right, good.
All right, we'll be back with Jared Hudson.
What's the difference between a moron and an idiot?
According to Merriam-Webster, an idiot is a foolish or stupid person, while a moron is a mildly mentally retarded person.
Wait.
Siri said it. Okay.
Siri said retarded?
Yes, mildly retarded.
Is that because she's British?
Yeah, probably.
Mildly retarded.
She sounded so nice when she was saying
Existing housing, people that own their homes, we're going to keep them wealthy. We're going to keep those prices up. We're not going to destroy the value of their homes so that somebody that didn't work very hard can buy a home.
The whole messaging of the younger generation doesn't work hard enough to even own a home. First of all, it's awful optics, and that's a great way to lose Gen Z. So it's not great messaging, but then second off, it's just wrong. I think the narrative that my generation doesn't work hard enough to own a home, and that's why they're struggling to own homes, is just not true.
I think the enemy making the older generation the enemy is also wrong. Just like it's wrong to make the younger generation the enemy. Nobody's the enemy. Money's money. And we had better get in control of it if we want to get out of this at all. He pitted two groups against each other. That's wrong. That's not what we're for. We are for working on things we can work on so that everybody benefits. That's conservatism. And he didn't say that well.
I think instead of saying, I want all the boomers to get rich off their homes, I think he was saying, I don't want the boomers to lose their fannies when we drive housing prices down. Like, it's not that he thinks they're going to get rich off the backs of kids, even though that's what he kind of said. I'm assuming he's like, well, if we drive housing prices down, then all these people that have worked so hard and then have finally gotten there. I think what he's trying to say is, I want them to at least be able to keep the value of their home or make money. I just don't want them to lose money. And that's a reasonable thing to say.
Could we talk about the prevalence of anti-Semitism?
Yes, we can. And anti-Semitism is a real problem. It's been on the left for a really long time. There's a strain of anti-Semitism starting to emerge on the right that I think we should pay attention to. But I would say at the same time, that term anti-Semitism has become just about as useless as the term racism. We know that there are lots of people get accused of racism who are not racist. There are lots of things that people will put that racist label on that are not racism at all. And the same kind of thing can happen with anti-Semitism. If you say what I said a few minutes ago, which is that Jews have to believe in Jesus to be saved, there are people who will say that's anti-Semitic. You say that Jews have to trust in Jesus to find salvation. Some people will say that's anti-Semitic. So we have to be very discerning here about what's actually being talked about. I would say that the flip side of that is if you say Jews can't be saved, for example, like Jews just can't be saved for whatever reason, that the branches on the tree of the covenant that were broken out can't be grafted back in, that would truly be anti-Semitic. If you say that Jews are uniquely malevolent and you use them as a scapegoat and blame them for all the problems, say, of Western society, or you think that, Jews absolutely run the world and control everything. I mean, there are some of these, there are people who will say things like that. That could verge over into a kind of anti-Semitism. If you refuse to acknowledge the good contributions that Jews have made, that could be a form of anti-Semitism. But a lot of things that get labeled anti-Semitism are not anti-Semitism. Criticizing the nation of Israel is not anti-Semitic. Questioning our nation's foreign policy towards Israel is not anti-Semitic. In the Bible, there's a long history of criticizing the Jewish people. Just read the prophets. Look at Jesus, look at Paul, and these are Jews who are criticizing other Jews for their unfaithfulness to God. They're not anti-Semitic. It's not an issue of race. It's an issue of covenant faithfulness. It's an issue of obedience to God.
My opponent, Nehemiah John Wall, admitted he tried to vote using a homemade fake ID. We could not be more different. I, like President Trump, support voter ID laws while my opponent breaks them.
There's nothing here that is not very simply explained. And you have to push back immediately on the whole fake homemade ID. Well, guys, I don't have a ID maker in my basement. I don't know where that. Look, I love how he said I admitted to doing that. I'm like, well, I would never admit to that because I kind of can't because I don't even know how I would do that. I had voted one time. I had voted with a ID from the state auditor's office where I was working as a volunteer press secretary at the time, and this state auditor at the time has come out and said, he approved it, and it was professionally printed by a vendor. This wasn't, something that was fake. It wasn't something that was, had homemade or anything. And so I find these attacks very disingenuous. I find them very deceptive to the public. They're misrepresentations. They are lies. You could argue about the discrepancy of whether that ID was or was not, a valid ID to use at the polls.
But they let you vote.
Oh, all I did was ask the poll worker, does this work?
Welcome back to Rightside. Finishing up the day with Jared Hudson. It's Amy Beth, Allison, JP. All right. We're going to just rapid fire because we don't have long. First, we've been talking about Epstein all day. It gets worse the more we dig. What are your thoughts?
How many files did they release? Was it 2 million they released? And then there's 3 million more they haven't released, or is that the other way around?
I think it's the other way around, but either
3
way,
million
it's a
that's
lot.
released, and then there's 2. So they've only released 50 to 60% of what's there. And of whatever they released, 2 million to 3 million files, 90% of it's redacted, 80% of it is some large amount is redacted, right? That is insane to me. Like, here's the deal. I understand because I work in law enforcement. We need to, if there's an investigation going on, we need to do it. The fact of the matter is this has been going on for a long enough time. The American people want to know, even President Trump, this is what he ran on. Hey, I'm going to make sure that this gets out there for the American people. Hey, let's go ahead and let it out there because the people that will say that Trump is tied to and everything, if he was tied to it, we would have known years ago when they were going after him on everything. He ain't tied to him. I even think Maxwell, I think she said that he wasn't. Yes. So for the people that want to push that, I think that's not even a straw man. It's just a completely false narrative. It's not even a red herring. It's just completely false. Put it out there, release it, and stop redacting the people who are going to get hemmed up over it. If arrests need to be made, then they need to go out and make arrests appropriately. If there's certain things that they need to keep quiet so they can continue investigations or protect victims, they need to do that. But I think there were some grown men that were down there in the 90s that they're claiming that they were victims, which is why their names were redacted. So it's just insane stuff. The American people want to know. Just open the books, let it out, and let everybody see what it is. And whatever it is, it is. If there's a human trafficking ring, we need to stop it. If there's not a human trafficking ring, that everybody needs to see that there's not. Personally, I from what I've seen with human trafficking, I believe it is. It will be tied to that, but it's not going to be what everybody thinks it is. I think it's a pretty, probably pretty middle of the road sort of guy with it. But anyway.
Okay. Why isn't that happening?
Why isn't? I don't know.
Why are they not just releasing it all?
That's a great question. That would be the ones that ask the people in charge. I would have said earlier on than this, because they still had active investigations going.
You don't think that's the case now?
Even if it is, who cares? I mean, who cares about the active investigation now? Let the people know, because that's what the people want to know. Let them make the decisions themselves. And anybody who does need to be arrested, go ahead and hook them up now. Protect the victims the best you can, but it doesn't seem like they're actually doing that. That's what I mean when I say, who cares if there's an active investigation going on? Because Epstein already killed himself. I do believe he's dead. Epstein's already dead, right? Whether you want to argue whether he killed himself or not.
No, apparently he's living in Tel Aviv.
Yeah, so that's the other crazy stuff. I'm so sick. He's living in Tel Aviv with Tupac and everybody else.
And Elvis.
So no, it just adds more fuel to the fire. The scripture calls it, contrived myths. That's what Paul talks about. Don't go into all these contrived things. It's not as crazy as people think it is. Let it out there so they can see. Of course, there'll be people who don't believe it. Is there bad stuff there that needs to be dealt with? 100%. Figure out what's going on with the human trafficking aspect or the underage girls being brought in and used in that way. Yeah, we need to figure that out because there are criminals amongst us, I believe, and it stems from that.
So this discussion led to another discussion earlier in the show, and we need your thoughts.
Oh, no.
We told everybody we were going to ask you this.
Okay.
You don't have to answer, but we'd really like it if you do.
You have to answer.
Yeah, you can't plead the
Jared
fifth.
Hudson.
I changed my mind. Go
All
ahead.
right, so we're bringing back an old school way of settling disputes, and we're going to bring back one old school way of public executions. How would you choose to settle disputes? And what would your public execution method be?
Okay. That's really, but real quick, you said plead the fifth. Maxwell pleaded the fifth recently on some stuff on wanted clemency or whatever. Right?
Yes.
She's a felon who's already she's
Yes.
been arrested. Like you've got felons that lose their right to vote, but they lose their right to bear, to have a firearm, right? Their Second Amendment right. She doesn't have a Fifth Amendment right. Hit her with true serum, put her on a dang lie detector, which I know it's not admissible in court, but put her on something and make it public and listen to what she tells. She doesn't have the right to plead the fifth, which is the craziest thing I've ever heard in my life.
Why'd they let her do it?
I don't know.
That's such a good point.
But she doesn't. I mean, you don't let felons vote. You don't let them have guns. She's a felon. Why can she plead the fifth? She doesn't have rights. That's why she's incarcerated. Her right to life and liberty have been taken from her. That's why she's arrested and incarcerated. But anyway, that being said, you said plead the fifth, and that popped in my head.
No, that's a good word.
Okay, so
what would I do? I would say, just don't put people in jail for beating people up. See, people would keep their mouth shut a lot longer if there was a risk of being punched in the mouth.
You're just gonna go I went with jousting.
I went with dueling.
Yeah, dueling with pistols.
Yeah.
I mean, here's the thing. I have killed a lot of people, and I'm not necessarily for everybody just being able to kill each other.
Right.
But the risk of getting popped in the mouth, that's why when, I tell my daughters this all the time, right? Girls get at each other and they're catty. Dudes are not like that when I'm around my nephews or whatever. You know why? Because there's a risk of getting punched in the mouth. So I think just bring back good old fighting. That's what we did in the SEAL teams. Went to the Connex box. You fought out your problem. That was pretty much it.
And then it was done.
And it's done.
Okay.
Be done with that. As far as the execution.
Yeah, they're proven guilty.
Yeah.
DNA,
proven
evidence,
guilty.
all the thing. No question.
Hanging.
Okay.
I think hanging. That's very. I mean, it worked for a while. I think you bring back hanging, and it would deter a lot of people from doing what they're doing.
Not hanging. Hanging.
Oh, sorry.
Hanging, yeah.
That's what I love it.
Hanging.
No. I was hanging.
I'm firing squad.
But
you're hanging.
They're sitting on a horse. Did you watch Yellowstone?
Mm-hmm.
They're sitting on a horse, and they're.
Oh yeah,
they're
I saw that one. The
attached to
horse
tree.
run away.
Yeah, and then they're. That's how I said.
No, yeah, but yeah, hanging. I think you bring back hanging, and it would deter a lot of people from a lot of what they're doing.
Okay.
Always fun.
That
Jared
$5
Hudson.
will get you Starbucks coffee.
Thank you for joining us. Always welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Always, have a lot to say.
Mm-hmm.
It's good to hear from you.
HudsonForAlabama.com.
That's what
May 19th. We need your vote, and like, share, follow, all of that stuff. Understand that I'm a man for. Is this the camera? Or is this the
That's
camera?
the camera.
Perfect. I was doing it. I'm the man for the people. Understand that, right? It's time that we have new young conservatives that step in for the people. I'm that guy. HudsonForAlabama.com.
We'll see y'all tomorrow.
You're listening live to Rightside
Out
Radio
right on
with Amy Beth, Allison, and JP. It's hard to go wrong when you're